And we are live. Nashville New Live's back on the air with Warsaken Blitz. June 10th, 2024. I'm your host, Pickney. Grand prize for today's show is a black camo Agent Nika Devon. I refer to her sometimes as a sneaky one, sneaking around the corner there. But the black camo Agent Nika Devon, the grand prize for today. Somebody will win that on today's broadcast. Hello, Rising Dragons, Tech, CVN Live. Let's see, trying to look through the list of people. Hacker, SUVAM. Hello, greetings, and welcome everybody. So it's going to be a little bit interesting to see how this goes out of the gate. Normally I've got a pretty set way of doing things, and it works out pretty well as long as I stick to that. A little bit challenged today because the Play with Viewers app over on Twitch has been in maintenance, because you might encounter issues. And by you might encounter issues, it's just not going to work for me right now. So I tried to get that to work before the broadcast. And what went wrong? I didn't do anything with OBS Studio today. What happened with it? It just wouldn't load up. So we're going to do this a bit differently today as far as figuring out who I'm going to play when it comes time for the randomizer. So we'll see how this goes. I just realized I probably should have picked a white background instead of black, but we'll see how this looks. Actually, that worked out okay. I'm going to have to assign numbers to people here. So if you want to play me, exclamation point join. The app itself is not working, but I'll assign numbers for people. Make sure everybody knows. We'll do the spin. It'll be a little bit more labor intensive for the short term, but hopefully this will be a one day only thing as far as... Now, this is what happens when you're beholden to apps. Nothing quite so expensive as free, but even with the paid version, they're working on it. They're trying to make it better. Maintenance, all that. All right. Well, now it's showing up here with the queue, so maybe it's miraculously fixed. Okay, let's pull down the black background I slapped together. I mean, it was literally just 1920 by 1080 image that I just had in total black, so I'll remove that. Won't load up. No. So it's having maintenance issues, so I'll have to... Maybe, like, if I type Q in chat, let's see if it'll tell you. It's not showing. It's not showing up on screen, unfortunately. I don't have a true queue system, to be clear, but... Okay, there's the numbers for everybody. This is to decide who's going to go first. This is not a queue system as it used to be. So, Jungle Banana's the 1. CVN Live the 2. Rising Dragons the 3. Tech the 4, and then Hackers... UVAM is the 5. Let's add one more number. This part's still the same. It's just for whatever reason, the interface that connects this Play with Viewers bot with OBS Studio, at least I can get the names in the order. So I can close the door and have at least some semblance of that. It's 5 names, 5 numbers. One of you will be my first opponent today on Nashville New Live. And it lands on 3, Rising Dragons. Congratulations. The randomizer has chosen you. So Rising Dragons, if you could please, provide me with a connect code, and we'll get this first game of the broadcast started here shortly. Copy this one part over here. Let's see. Double back to OBS Studio. Already got the code for me. Thank you. I was trying to find the copy paste to ask for it and have to even do that. So hopefully that interface will be cooperating a little bit more later in the broadcast, but at least it was able to function for what I needed for the short term. Live television. I've got years and years and years of experience with it. Or radio, or live streaming, whatever. And you have to almost expect the unexpected, which is easier said than done. But you try to make the best of it. You're live, and people will understand to at least some degree with that. So I've got the code from Rising Dragons. Let's bring the slate down. Get this typed in. We'll get the first game of today's broadcast started here shortly. We'll start with the gold. Warsaken. have the echo in my headset and have my television muted. I have two different screens that I use, one to play the games and one to handle the live streaming. Agent Nika, I mean, there's only 50 of them in total, and minus however many were used to make a black camo first wave. Limitations of those black camo cards. All right, I've got something I can work with initially, which is all I ask for out of my starting 8. If I roll a 2, is there something I can play? And there is, so I'll keep. And I get to go first. Lucky me. 6. Well, the good news, bad news scenario. A lot of cards. The bad news, nothing makes a match. Pair of assassination attempt. Intel cards. Okay, 3 spots open in my war zone. 4 actions for the turn. We'll go with Force and a pair of Dreadnought 6 Force cards. Pair of Intel, pair of Force cards. I keep this 3rd and 4th spot, both of those spots open. In my war zone, I'll pass up the last 2 actions and end the turn. Taking on Rising Dragons here in Warsaken Blitz. First game of the broadcast is a roll of 6. Warbot is giving out loot. People with watching official Warsaken streamers with linked Wax wallet. Warbot giving out loot. See, I thought I had the Warbot. I'm like, am I losing it here? I could have sworn I had this saved here. I know there's a game going on right now I should be paying attention to. My opponents lined up a pair of Weathers, pair of Forces. I'm trying to find where the link is to the tip.warbot, because I know I had it pulled up on both of these browsers on Friday or Thursday, whatever it was. You know, I'll worry about that a little later. We got a game to play. We got 2 sets of 2 Weather and a pair of Force cards. My turn. 1. Yeah, Warbot, I don't know what Warbot's giving out now, but over the weekend, Warbot was giving out 15x loot. This one really doesn't help me any. Nothing makes a match. And again, I value that 3rd spot, my war zone being kept open early, because it keeps your options open. Also gives your opponent less of an opportunity to go boom, 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 and hit 1 of each, split you up. So anyway, long roundabout way of saying to pass up that 1 action, ending the turn. Taking on Rising Dragons here in Warsaken Blitz. Let's roll 2. But I'm so grateful for Warbot, for Warsaken Blitz, what Warsaken does for its live streamers. They're very generous. They much get it as far as understanding the value with live streaming and building enthusiasm. It's a community over the Warsaken Discord, some wonderful people. As that Force match eliminates one of my 4 territories. I'm down to 3. Okay, triple check. Okay, this thing is now for sure bookmarked. So now I'll have it for the future. We'll spend 5 minutes trying to figure out what I'm doing here live on stream. There's the link to Warbot. It's great because it shows you, it's full transparency. It shows you what they paid out and to whom. My turn. 2. Man, I'm just stuck in the mud here. Nothing. I mean, I could put a pair out there in that 3rd spot, my war zone, but I've already explained at length why I don't like to do that. I'm only having the 1 pair of Force cards out there, all of the things being equal, but I mean, what other choices do I have? Not putting those out there, not putting those out there, not right now, not to get potentially boom, boom, boom taken apart. No thanks. Pass up the 2 actions in the turn. Taking on Rising Dragons here in Warsaken Blitz. Episode 105. I greatly appreciate everybody taking the time to watch live. I appreciate people being willing to play me here live on stream. Also very important. Without people to play against, you can only do so much. There's a weather match for Rising Dragons. We'll have an extra turn as a result. There's another weather match, so 2 extra turns. Rising Dragons. Nothing in that war zone, but a lot of actions potentially to come with those 2 extra turns lined up. So extra turn, roll of 4 with 2 sets of 2 weather out there. The weather train chugging down the tracks. So Bainboy said your new task, trading cards. Like, you talking about the physical form? Because Warsaken's got those that they have available in the shop. It's a really great setup they've got going on, because it's up to 50% off from now until Father's Day, which I presume is the same around the world. I don't know. That's one of those kind of arbitrary things they came up with. All right, there's a intel match, and you see why I was so hesitant about filling up that 3rd spot in my war zone. This will probably split up and knock out both of them. Like, split up the pair of force cards, bounce both of the intels. So think if I would have had 2 sets of 2 force out there, what would have happened? Boom, boom, boom. Then I got 2 different forces messed up and completely discombobulated. With this, okay, it hurts getting hit with intel like that, but there are worse things that can happen to you. 1 action to go for the turn with another extra turn still to go for Rising Dragons. Now the extra turn number 2. It's a roll of 1. But is there a 3rd tsunami or a 3rd terrifying storm? Instead of 2nd force card, 2 sets of 2 weather and a pair of forces. And finally, it's my turn again. 5. All right. My weathers are like hibernating. However, we do have a WMD match right here, right now. Tactical Nuke. That WMD match allows me to eliminate 2 of my opponent's 4 territories. You can play at most 1 WMD match per side in a given game of Warsaken Blitz. So we'll eliminate Underground Base, -6 morale. We'll eliminate Weapons District, -4. So that 19 on my opponent's shield is going to drop to a 9. See? This was a total of 10 morale knocked off. If your morale hits 0, even if you have cards in your arsenal, at least 1 territory left, it doesn't matter. If your morale hits 0, you've got a compromised leader at that point. 2 actions to go for the turn. I'm not putting those out there in partial form. I've already seen 1 intel play used against me, so I think the prudent play is to actually put some weather out there finally. Geomagnetic disturbance. Magnetic weather. That ends my turn. Jungle Banana, hello. Okay, I see what you're saying there, Bane War. Yeah, but your daily loot rewards. It's a wonderful thing. I mean, they've been very smart about it, and it's a wonderful community of people. There's a lot of positives with Warsaken. There's a force match. That force match will eliminate a 2nd territory for me. We'll both be down to 2. An important caveat, though. My opponent has not yet played a WMD match. So I need 3 force matches to win. My opponent just needs a WMD match to give me a compromised leader, and then a force match would end it. Taking on Rising Dragons, first game of the broadcast. Giving away a black camo Agent Nika Devon. Grand prize for today. 6 for someone that beats me live on stream. So hey, finally get a weather match. It's been limited as far as the weather dropping in, just luck of the draw. That happens sometimes. They cap it at 4 sets of 4 weather that you can have in a Warsaken Blitz deck with good reason on that. All right, let's go force. X32-0. Force match eliminates the 3rd territory for my opponent. White Rock Energy, -4 morale. So the morale dropped to 5 for Rising Dragons. Remember that shield. All right. Weather. Geomagnetic disturbance. I'll take the extra turn in a moment. Play a pair of Ghost Training Facility building cards. Now my extra turn. 4. Okay. So let's see. What do we have in here? You go back for it. Well, I don't have a 3rd. Or do I? Yeah, I do, actually. So I go back for Assassination Attempt and play it this turn and split up. I love bouncing building cards, so I might do that. Assassination attempt, and then I have the one dreadnought out there. I can get a second dreadnought. I really wouldn't need another. I can just get a random weather. I guess that's the way to do it. Let's think. Let's see if I got two of the geomagnetics. I've got one in hand. I can actually play that this turn. Get an extra turn, right? And then let's think. No, I would need to get two of either one. Either the weather or the intel. So if I go back for weather, go two weathers and then a dreadnought. I think that's the move. Come on. Ghost training facility. I'll make sure you have the dreadnought. There's only one of these. And then two weathers. Okay, 3 actions for the turn. No, not that. This weather. The one I just brought back. Geomagnetic disturbance. Alright, so... No, not the actions. The extra turn. If I get 2 force matches here, I can get the win. Let's see. 1. All right, Tranquil Sunlight. That's it for the turn. Taking on Rising Dragons. Rolls a 5. So I'm taking on Rising Dragons, first game of the broadcast. After this game, we'll be going back to the randomizer. I had to kind of modify things a bit today as the Play with Viewers app is under maintenance. So it wasn't showing up on screen with my typical... Almost that it's all set up with the color scheme I want. And like if it goes past 21 names on there, like we saw on the Black Friday Spectacular last November, like the names just run off the page eventually. So there was always going to be a scalability issue with that. But for now, it mostly works for the way we want it to. Or at least I want it to. 5 actions here for Rising Dragons. Grand prize for today, black camo, Agent Nika Devon. There is a WMD match. This will give me a compromised leader. All that Rising Dragons is going to need is 1 force match to beat me. That red ring of death around my leader. You've got a compromised leader. That's a visual way you can tell. As if the slashes through all my territories weren't enough. But for new players that aren't sure, if you see that, that means that's a compromised leader. 2 sets of 2 weather and a pair of building cards out there for Rising Dragons. Weather, so that'll be an extra turn. There's the +3 action. If you got the win, go ahead and take it. Like, if you already got the win, go ahead and just do it. Like, we don't have a timer in right now. There's building cards. Well, obviously you got the win. Go ahead and take it. So I'm taking on Rising Dragons, who clearly has enough to have the win, but, you know, at least respect the show enough to get it over with. Come on. All right, here we go. The big horde for the win. All right, good game. Rising Dragons victorious. So congratulations, Rising Dragons. You're the first person to qualify for a spot in the prize round of today's broadcast. Grand prize, that black camo, Agent Nika Devon. She's the sneaky one. She's the grand prize for today. So congratulations, Rising Dragons. We'll have you in the prize round. That'll be at the end of the broadcast, around 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Hello, Valky. If I missed anybody, not an intentional slight. Tech in here. Just played against Rising Dragons, Jungle Banano, Bane War. All right, so let me now clear and then reopen the randomizer, which is giving me some problems. So we'll see how this turns out. It's ! Join. If we haven't played yet today in Warsaken Blitz and you'd like to be my next opponent, let me take down the black background to see if it's syncing properly yet, if it's still having issues. Still having issues. All right, so it'll show up if it's like I hit it'll show you in chat. It's not a true queue, so please don't misunderstand that. This is just this who is in for the. It's not going to show up on screen, but I can show you here. So, 1 for Tech, 2 for CBN Live, hello, 3 for Kron, 4 for Valky. Last call, Jungle Banana is in. 5 names and 5 numbers. Again, this is due to some maintenance that the Play with Viewers app is having today, and that's one thing with live streaming. If you're beholden to somebody else's app, you're beholden to their schedule to a certain degree. But like any good live broadcast, we'll make do with what we have. All right, so you see the 5 names up there, the 5 numbers, which really is the important thing. Other important thing is making sure I can close the door. All right, let's give it a spin. One of you 5 will be my next opponent here on Nashville Lou Live. Lands on 4, Valky. Congratulations, Valky. The randomizer has chosen you. So please provide me the connect code. We'll get this next game started here shortly if I don't hit the wrong key. Try to hit shift for an underscore on here and hit control. Dash. Uh-oh. Hope this didn't ruin something. The joys of trying to multitask. All right. I'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1800 UTC, episode 106 of Warsaken Blitz on Nashville Lou Live. There's the connect code from Valky. Thank you. Well, I think Game Reward XP is going to open up all sorts of possibilities. And you got to think it's going to be coming soon, but I would much rather wait even longer if that means it's right when we roll it out versus there being problems that hadn't been fully flushed out. That's developing games can certainly be a time-consuming process. And I'm on the outside looking in, just like everybody else, but this is a special community of people that support this game, Warsaken Blitz, over on the Warsaken Discord. Some great people. All right, so let me type in this connect code. We'll get the next game started here in just a second. So you can tell I'm ready for the optimized. We'll put on the categories overlay. Optimized for game XP. Here we go.
Warsaken.
Taking on Valky. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's really interesting what's going on right now with Woofy. I guess you call it a meme coin. Really, it connects Wax with Solana. And while I don't get into that all that much on this broadcast, it's a positive. More people being able to play more easily. And again, I strongly urge everybody to check out the Warsaken shop if you want digital cards. If you want to play this, you can play this in real life with real cards. It's wonderful. So all sorts of possibilities with that. But this up to 50% off they're having in the Warsaken shop runs through Father's Day, so limited time only. Okay, pair of weather cards. No limits on this. Keep. This is the code incoming game mat that I'm using today. Thanks to Biscuit, who gave this to me. It's an example I like to give when I'm explaining about how the Warsaken community is very generous, not only with its time, but also with its resources. We were watching somebody, maybe, I don't know if it was custom TV, or somebody's live stream I was watching. There's a force match that eliminated one of my 4 territories. And I saw this particular game mat, and oh, that's really nice, I don't have this one. And Biscuit was like, I'll give it to you, I've got an extra. I'm like, I wasn't trying to ask for one, but okay, that'd be awesome. And sure enough, Biscuit gave it to me. So many thanks to Biscuit for that. But I think the community is, in a large way, a reflection of the management with Warsaken, the people that have spent years getting to this point. This is nothing that was just slapped together last week. So it's a WMD and a morale card. I get to roll. My turn. 5. Okay, nothing makes a match. Let's go weather with a pair of lasting blizzard cards. Okay, so everyone that was holding a minimum of 1 million Woofy got in the snapshot. Hey, that's great. People are getting really creative when it comes to Woofy. Woofy's been heading up. I can't explain why. People understand, like, it's like they're speaking another language. I understand finances, but it's another thing to say, okay, well, this candle here leads to this, and they're looking at charts. I'm like, man, you're seeing something I'm not there. It's like one of those 3D images you're supposed to, like, you look at it, kind of unfocus your eyes, and I can never get those to work either, so. Anyway, all right, so a pair of weather cards. Let's put out some intel. Rummage. Some 4-star intel right there. Rank 4. It's really 4 stripes and stars, but you get the idea. Pair of weather cards, pair of intel cards, 2 spots open in my war zone, 1 action to go for the turn. I'm not crazy about just throwing out something, especially force, into that 3rd spot early, so I won't. So I'll pass up that last action, and end the turn. Taking on Valky here in Warsaken Blitz. When I was first getting started with streaming Warsaken Blitz about a year ago, I was really, taken aback's not the right word, but I was really impressed by how receptive the Warsaken community was to me starting to stream this game. My fear was that, like with anything, you don't want to come in and have somebody see you as some sort of a threat, or you're trying to cut into their space, or you're going to hurt their audience, any of that. It was the exact opposite. They were thrilled to have me there. They're excited there's more people that love this game. And that has made all the difference. Because I can't just go on and find a random opponent the way it is now. Once we have Game Reward XP, that's going to open it up to so many possibilities. But if I didn't have anybody to play against, I would have serious trouble. The idea of this show is that people should and can be able to listen. Chat when you can. Maybe you're watching at work on a second screen or whatever. Don't get in trouble, but by the same token, some people have gigs that allow them that kind of latitude. So, chance for people to earn loot, chat from time to time, make sure they're active in it, etc. Okay, roll 1. So Valky has a WMD and a morale card. Not going to chance it. Pass up the action in the turn. Plus, at this point, Valky has only seen what I've shown, which are weather and intel cards. Roll 1. Sometimes, I think for another tip for new players, look at what your opponent is playing early. If you see a force, that's a sign, okay, this is probably not an intel-heavy deck. Some of those like super crazy intel decks that are stacked up, one of the ways you can tell early on and you can adjust accordingly is if you're just seeing intel, weather, etc., and you're not seeing force cards played. My turn. 5. That's one reason why I like that force discard early. If you don't have a reason to bounce anything from your opponent's war zone, part of what you get is that information. Like, okay, if they're discarding and it's intel, that's one thing. you've seen a force card or two in there, a different matter altogether. All right. Play the force instead of rambling. HX Odin, Force, Navy, Hovercraft. CMCski in the house, hello. So I'll eliminate Clementine Meyer. It's a -3 morale territory, so the morale drops from 20 down to 17 for Valky. Now, I don't anticipate that necessarily coming into play on Valky's side, but the fact I've got my morale at 16 is noteworthy because clearly some morale cards, or at least a few morale cards in the deck there for Valky. So I could be in a spot I've lost before to Valky, where I've had one territory left, but my morale was at 0. I had a compromised leader, and that was the game. Okay, 2 actions to go for the turn. 2 spots open in my war zone. And nothing even makes a pair. Okay, well, that makes this decision easy enough. Pass up the 2 actions. End the turn. Taking on Valky here in Warsaken Blitz. It's a roll 6. 18 cards and 6 actions here for Valky. Welsh NFT, hello. Greetings and welcome. Enjoyed watching your show over the weekend. There's a WMD match. So Valky will eliminate 2 of my 3 remaining territories. I'll be down to 1. Four actions to go for the turn. Remember, later this hour, I'll be giving away a Warsaken Foil Prime card. Your chance to win's coming up. Four actions to go for the turn. There's a force card. Rusty. I'm not the only person that has a dog deck put together. Valky's a fan of playing Rusty or Stone. The soldier dog, as it's listed. Cards. I want Rusty on my side. I don't want to have him staring at me like that. Ears perked up, and then some camo so you can't see him sprinting at you. And then that's it for the turn. So interesting one-offs for the force, morale, force. My turn. 3. Bam. All right. Make the best of it. Weather. At least I have that. A pair of blinding sandstorm weather cards. 2 sets of 2 weather along with a pair of intel cards. I'll pass up that last action and end the turn. Dogs of Vortex is Bane War. Yeah. Roll 4. And yeah, Valky definitely. CMCski is one of the most important members of the Warsaken community. Does a tremendous job promoting Warsaken, promoting social media with Warsaken, whether it's X, Twitter, or it's Instagram. Like, I almost never get on Instagram. That's really not my thing. But I'll get on there and like the stuff that Warsaken posts. There's a pair of weather cards for Valky. And different people that play this game have different budgets, certainly. And so, for something that like that, I mean, for things that it doesn't cost you anything to do it, and you can support the game and show your support to the rest of the Legion as well, just a like here and there or a retweet, that stuff can add up over time in a positive way. So, if you have I mean, some people entirely shun social media, and to that end, maybe they're smarter than me. But for those that have it and make the best of it, all sorts of possibilities, particularly supporting Warsaken. My turn. 1. I mean, this has been just not my game at all. I mean, at least it won't be a total, one-sided round. I did eliminate 1 territory, but man, nothing. In turn. Brutal. But as I always try to note with Warsaken Blitz, you can't get too high or too low with the outcome of any one game. RNG plays a major factor. It's roll a 5 for Valky. Now, skill does as well, of course, and strategy, but And you maybe on a losing streak. What was it? It was a week or two ago. There's another force match. It'll give me a compromised leader. But I won 14 out of 15, then I lost 4 out of 5. Sometimes it goes in waves.
Compromised.
Meanwhile, Valky just needs one more force match to beat me. She's got 19 cards in hand. Are there 2 more Rusties up there? Is Stone gonna do a run-in? At Bulldog speed. Intel. I'll probably split up the 3 sets of 2 I have out here. So if Valky doesn't have a force match, that means potentially at least get one more roll. Now, Toronto Valky have a 3rd Sunlight weather card to play. Tranquil Sunlight to be specific, and get an extra turn. But if not, then at least I'll get one more roll. There's a 2nd Rusty. So this is not a particularly opportune spot for me, yet sometimes this game can surprise you. 6! Alright, weather match. Man. Well, at least I got the weather. First things first, let's play the Lasting Blizzard. Give me that extra turn. Stat. Okay, 4 actions here. I got the remnants of what got split up off the board earlier. As in earlier, I mean the last turn. So I'll do a recall here on Rummage. I mean, it would probably help if I could bounce the Rusties. I don't know, because the problem, though, is that Valky can have any other force match and just outright beat me. But if I'm putting a pair of force cards, I'm making a guess. Whereas with this, at least, okay, maybe this could buy me an additional turn. You never know. All right, targeted sabotage, Intel. 1 action still to go before the extra turn. Fire in the fields. So now the extra turn. Taking on Valky, Warsaken, Blitz, roll 6. Actually play the building cards and go back for Blinding Sandstorm and play that this turn. Get an extra turn. Alright. Still very much a long shot, but we'll try it. Avalon Academy. Savage Escalation building match. Wasn't quite sure what to pick for my 3rd card there. We'll go Blinding Sandstorm, weather. I'll take the extra turn. Do I have a 3rd? No, there's not a match over here. I can play 1 A4 Revenge Super Carrier. Extra turn. 1. So it goes. Fire in the fields. That's it for the turn. Valky just needs 1 force match to beat me. 2. That's true, Bane War. That die can be cruel, but it can also provide for a lot of excitement, the big rallies. That last force match sometimes can be elusive. 2 actions here for Valky. C5 Barracuda. Pair of those. So I will get another turn. 2. Well, at least I can play the other 2 that I need for the A4 Revenge Supercarrier. Force.
Select target.
So that eliminates a second territory for Valky. She'll be down to 2. Meanwhile, I've got a compromised leader. I have 0 territories remaining. Can Valky get a force match to beat me? She's got 2 sets of 2 force out there. 6. Surely this'll do it. Texting. Thinking it's not going to end well. The Valky with that roll of 6, 21 cards, 6 actions. Is there a third Rusty? There sure is. Rusty for the win. All right, good game, Valky, victorious. So congratulations to Valky, who joins Rising Dragons on the list of people who've beat me here today live on stream. So they will be in the prize round at the end of the broadcast, around 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Still far away from that at this point. The grand prize for today, black camo, Agent Nika Devon. Somebody will win that grand prize coming up later in the broadcast. Also, remind everybody, if you have loot, you can earn loot from watching official Warsaken streamers like me. Just have your Wax wallet linked. You can earn loot. With that loot, you can get packs. You get these loot packs. If you record them and you get something really cool out of there, or something really original or different or unique, or you can make it your own and you can make it interesting, you have a chance to earn up to, I guess it's not up to, it is 1 million loot per week is what they've been doing for the best video as far as those pack openings. So for anybody looking at that, be sure, if you can, if at all possible, try to record it, and you could be rewarded for that. Also, 5 days to go for the Win Woofie with Warsaken weather competition. You need all 18 of those cards. You gotta make sure you check them. Also, the bounty block, make sure that somebody else hasn't used them yet for the competition. Details over on Warsaken.com in the news section. Back in just a few minutes. We've given away a Warsaken foil prime card, then back to the randomizer, however it wants to work for me today. We'll see. To be determined. That much more ahead, more prizes, more fun. Warsaken Blitz, Nashville Live. Stay tuned. All right, coming back from break. Exclamation point play. Type that in chat along with your Wax wallet. If you'd like to get in on this Twitchy Tides game, we'll determine who's going to win this hour's Warsaken Foil Prime card giveaway. Exclamation mark play to get in on. Now, is it not showing up properly? Don't tell me this isn't working right today. Let me try something else. Hang on, stand by. We're going to do this. We're going to make it work. It just, oh. Okay, let's try this again. I don't know if it's because I was editing the... I didn't have it saved. I've been outsmarting myself. Try again if you would, please. Let's see if this can work. I don't know if it didn't register, if it's just not working properly for me, which is a concern of another level. Why is it like it rains and pours with this stuff? It really feels like that sometimes. There's a lot to be happy about. We have 15x with Warbot still giving out 15x loot. But this just isn't cooperating. Oh my goodness, how are we going to do this? Okay, I know how. You're going to have to just hang tight with me for a second. Always something with this stuff. So just stand by, please. Oh, this drives me up the wall. This isn't Twitchy Tides' fault per se. This is me not having it ready to go properly. There's no real way to check this though, which is just, oh. It's because I use multiple computers and there's some things I can do on one that I can't do on the other, or it causes problems. So just hang with me for a second here, please. Determined to make this work. I have to prove I'm a human. Is it that difficult to let me do what I need to do here? Okay, make sure you can't see what I'm typing in, otherwise that could be a problem. All right, so I'm going to retype in this access tokens. I have to do this on this other computer because nothing can ever be easy with this stuff. So I'm going to restart this. I'm going to type in this access code, and then we'll hopefully be able to get this going. Oh my goodness, this is just... And now it's just crawling to get started. Like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. So I don't want to be logged in everywhere on all computers at all times, and some things are kind of heavy-handed in what they will and won't let you do. And that's not the case with Twitchy Tides. It's just then dealing with Twitch. It's a whole nother matter. Okay. I'm going to type in this new access token. I know this makes for less than riveting programming, but I'll do my best to make things as exciting as possible for the rest of the broadcast. All right. And it's not just a few letters either. But don't do it this way that I'm logged in on this computer, I'm logged in on that computer, and who knows the problems that could cause. And all that time I was typing, and it was showing up on the wrong keyboard. This is incredible. Oh. Okay, let's try this again. Watch what I'm doing here. It's just, oh. Nightmare stuff here. One day we won't have to jump through these hoops. One day. All right. I say that, maybe not. Always be hoops to jump through. All right, let's see if this long convoluted process works. Failed to authenticate. So what do I type wrong out of these 30 characters here? Failed to authenticate. Oh, I didn't put I have to put my name with the channel in. Oh, nothing can be easy with this, can it? Never can be easy. Let's see, will this work? Okay. Let's see. Let's try it again, shall we? Exclamation point play and your wax wallet if you haven't gotten in over on Twitchy Tides. Doing a Warsaken foil prime card giveaway. It's Louver's technology, and I'm taking a bunch of losses, but I've been taking. So if we can try again on this, but everybody's showing up, it's working. Hooray! Knew we get it eventually. Exclamation point play and your wax wallet. If you're already connected over on Twitchy Tides, and you don't have to include your wallet, but I need to know who to send the prize to, a Warsaken foil prime card giveaway. So I'll give people a couple. Normally I'll be pretty quick with it, but I'll give it a little bit extra time here since y'all were patient with me. But I tell you what, like, I don't have any sort of deal or affiliation with Twitchy Tides per se, but I've been impressed with what I've seen, and it makes for a very fast way. I will have to go ahead and the settings. It'll continue to have the names here. We'll go presets. I want Piranha mode. I want it fast. For as long as it took to get to this point, I prefer it to be fast. All right, last call on getting in on this Twitchy Tides. We'll have another in our next hour as well here on Nashville Lou Live, which hopefully will go smoother than this as far as getting to this point. I mean, not Twitchy Tides' fault. That's on my end. Live and learn on not closing out the whatever it was that I did that caused the problems. I think I know. Okay, so we got 9 people in here. One of you will be the winner. Good luck. Piranha mode moves fast. Congratulations, RCP ADG. You're this hour's winner. All right, so congratulations on that. You win the Twitchy Tides, and you win a Warsaken foil prime card. So that'll be coming your way after the broadcast. We'll have another one of these coming up in our next hour as well, here on Nashville Lou Live. Where it's exclamation point loot and then your wax wallet. You can earn loot. If you have your wax wallet linked and you're watching official Warsaken streamers when we're live here on Twitch, people like me that love this game, love to play this game, certainly love to live stream it. It's great incentive to get people to watch. It's a huge bonus for the official Warsaken streamers, and I'm greatly appreciative of it. All right, so let me make sure everything's set up here before I start. This first hour has been a case of the Mondays for the tech side. This is on me to make sure it's smoother next time. So let's go clear and then reopen the randomizer. So it's exclamation point join. If we haven't played yet today in Warsaken Blitz and you'd like to be my next opponent, that's not going to show up on screen. Again, everything with technical stuff today has been a bit of a challenge, but I'll be able to pull it up in the queue. You'll see it as well as far as who gets what number. So it's exclamation point join. If we haven't played yet today in Warsaken Blitz and you'd like to be my next opponent. So the queue's up to 6 people. So we'll have, I know it's Carlos CGTV. I saw you. Yeah. There we go. Because it's a random. I know it says queue. Maybe there's a way I can change that where it doesn't say that. But normally I don't have to, it just shows the names on screen. That typically works. So we've got 6 names. And now we have 6 numbers. Now I need to make sure I have my Twitch. I've got so many panels open over here. I mean, that's the norm for me with web browsers. My brain jumping all over the place at all times. There we go. That closes the door. We've got 6 numbers. Make sure that before I hit it. We'll give it a spin. One of you 6 will be my next opponent here on Nashville Lou Live. And it lands on 5. So Zeal, congratulations, Zeal. Randomizer has chosen you. So Zeal, if you could please provide me the connect code. We'll get this next game started here shortly. And hopefully tomorrow the Play with Viewers app will be out of maintenance mode and I can have the names on screen. So this impromptu black background I came up with shortly before showtime today. If only knew what it was awaiting me with the tech stuff as far as it not working properly. Oh, and then I got impatient. Started switching stuff out. Man. All right, so Zeal's going to have it for me here in just a moment. You see Agent Nika Devin, the sneaky one right there. That's the grand prize for today, that black camo force card. And we'll have Warsaken camo, talking super rare cards for the other people who have beat me here today live on stream. I've had 2 games thus far, and I've lost both of them. The Rising Dragons and Devalki. There's the code. Thank you. So as we pass 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a quick reset. This is Nashville Lou Live. I'm your host, Lou Pickney, playing the fantastic new card strategy game, Warsaken Blitz. Blitz is the simplified version of Warsaken. It is tremendous fun to play. It is tremendous fun to live stream.
Warsaken.
All right, here we go. Taking on Zeal, who's got a great avatar there, that frostbite. There. You can customize your battle title, as it's called. You can customize the card sleeves, the backs of the cards. All right, well, here isn't anything that really is worth celebrating, as nothing even makes a pair. So, easy choice to take the mulligan. It'll reshuffle my arsenal of 60 and then deal me 8 cards once again. They're done shifting around. I'll take that. I just need something I can work with initially. I'm going to use that second mulligan if you absolutely have to. Keep. This is the Slate Lux game mat that I'm using with this deck today. Same with the orange card sleeves, those card backs right there, the black Warsaken logo. And I get to go first with this. You can even customize the way the die looks. I like an electrified look to it. 4. All right, nothing makes a match. Pair of weather cards. Freezing rainstorm. Icy. On fire. 3 spots open in my war zone. 2 actions to go for the turn. Some force out there with an H5 dropship. That's it for the turn. Rule 4. Yeah, well, shore leave. I mean, those morale cards are going to be less frequently seen in Warsaken Blitz. I tend to not use them because I don't want to discourage my opponents from having some of the rarer, lesser seen territories with a higher negative morale. I want to encourage that to be used here. And so typically I don't use morale in that way, but that might change over time as well. There are all sorts of ideas I have once Game Reward XP is ready. I cannot wait for that. My turn 2. Well, so opposite me is a pair of force cards and a pair of building cards, which is unusual to see early like this. There's nothing in that opposite side discard pile, which is what building cards can do. Retrieve cards from your discard pile. So anyway, I'll play a pair of weather cards here. Fire in the fields. That ends the turn. Zeal and I tend to have some really good games. There are certain opponents where we just, more often than not, like playing against Tech, so these wild games back and forth. But it makes for good live streaming, and it makes for just fun in general to play. And as long as you still have cards in your arsenal, no matter how bleak it might look, you still have a legitimate chance to win in Warsaken Blitz. So the rule of 3 means 3 cards and 3 actions here for Zeal. Force. 2 sets of 2 force to go with a pair of building cards. My turn. Three. All right, so I've got a match for weather, got a match for force. Fire in the fields. I'll take the extra turn. We'll get to that in a moment. Play a third H5 dropship. This is a force match. Warsaken Blitz force match allows you to eliminate one of your opponent's 4 territories. I hear the Prela Copper Industries card here. Savage Escalation. Prela Copper Industries. Eliminate. I know selling the blood foil up here. This is really nice. Also Savage Escalation. Nation's Capital. Only 4 of these exist. 1 action left for the turn. I don't like putting building cards out there in partial form, so I won't. Again, some players take a different approach. My way is not necessarily the best way. That just tends to be what I go with because it tends to work for me more often than not. I'm going to pass up the action in the turn. Extra turn. 4. All right, so I'll get another turn after this. Additional extra turn. With air pollution. Weather. All right, 3 spots open, 1 action to go for the turn. I will go ahead and play a Z27 Tiger here. Extra turn. 4. All right. Nothing makes a match. Play a second Z27 Tiger. I have 2 spots open in my war zone. I've got 3 actions to go for the turn. Some weather out there, cloud cover. So 2 sets of 2 weather. Pair of force cards. Keeping that 4th spot in my war zone open. I'm going to pass up this last action and end the turn. Taking on Zeal here in Warsaken Blitz Nashville Lou Live. A Warbot giving out 15x loot. I don't know how long that's going to last. It was something that was set up for, this past weekend. Tremendous generosity from Warsaken. That force match eliminates one of my 4 territories. There goes my nation's capital. So we're both down to 3. 4 actions still to go for the turn. There's a building card match. You know you're going back for force. That's all that's in there. And you can play another force match. The actions remaining. So this will take me down to 2 territories. Zeal bringing the heat. That ends the turn. Yeah, milling your opponent's deck. That's why I try to tell players, especially new players, look to figure out what kind of a deck your opponent has early. If you've got a heavy intel opponent deck, if you're going to get if they're trying to mill your arsenal down, you need to make sure you're especially careful with your force cards. Because if you don't have what you need in hand and your arsenal hits 0, at that point you're drawing dead. It's the only time this game gets depressing. 3. I mean, you can get disappointed about not getting the breaks in a given game, but you know that's RNG's part of it. You can't get too upset about that. But in general, it's just a very, an ugh feeling because like when your building cards are getting milled, you never even get them in your hand, but you just have to plan accordingly. And again, there is strategy to it, which is great. Cloud cover. Extra turn. I mean, Blitz is the simplified version of Warsaken. This is not a difficult game to learn. It's very easy to learn. It's the categories that matter. Man, it's fun to play. It's fun to stream. All right, now here's where it gets interesting. I could put out another force pair, but then that's just begging for intel to bounce. And I don't like having multiple force cards, especially when I've got pairs of them, bounce. Moreover, it's not like I know which 2 should I put out there, and I don't have an answer for that. WMDs, building cards, even less inclined to put those out. Again, you don't know what's going to show up. There's mystery to it. So that's why, despite being at an apparent disadvantage, I will pass up those last 2 actions and end the turn. Extra turn. 3. Guess what? Another extra turn. Okay, so it's a little bit different now. The spot's freed up a bit. Should play some intel. Control the message. All right, now the additional extra turn. 4. All right, got a WMD match. Maw's Gas. This will eliminate 2 of 3. Zeal has 3 territories left. This is going to take out 2 of them. Simplified. So the WMD match eliminates 2 of my opponent's territories. We got that Blood Foil, Nation's Capital. It's all's fair in turnaround. Mine got eliminated. And Black Earth Mine, a good choice for new players if you're looking to put a deck together. -3 morale for Black Earth Mine, worth considering. And again, for people new to Warsaken, as long as you've got a Wax wallet, if you're watching people like me, official Warsaken streamers when we're live, you can earn loot. Earn enough loot, you get a loot pack, and then you're in the game, as it were. Get some cards, put a deck together. All right. I really don't want to put that out there in partial form, so I won't. Pass up the action in the turn. Taking on Zeal, who rolled a 5. 17 cards and 5 actions here for Zeal. Yeah, and that's the thing, Bane War. It's interesting with what we have now with Warsaken, because there are some players where I anticipate they'll have more as far as intel goes, or somewhere I think, well, less likely. But you never want to presume, and you never know for sure. There have been players where I thought, oh, they're not going to have any intel, and then, oh, guess what, they do. Speaking of guess what, there's a pair of WMDs. If there's a third, that would eliminate my final 2 territories and give me a compromise later. I've already played my WMD match. I only played 1 of those per game, per side. And Blitz. Igor Bach, Electrical Engineer. 2 sets of 2 force along with a pair of WMDs. Now there is the issue at times when you've got a third force match in hand after you already played 2, but you don't have a WMD match yet. How long do you wait? How long do you wait to play that third force match? My turn. 5. Well. All right, these are all sets of 3 in there. Azar Cyrus, Fabricator, Force. That Force match will eliminate Zeal's final territory, Brotherland Fields. Another -3 morale. Good to target for new players trying to put a deck together for Blitz. I mean, you can have -4, you can have a little higher, but just in general, try and go for those -3 early. You only need 4 of them total of the different territories. And you'll notice that these blood foils and the thermal ash and the gold and the night vision, they all look really cool. They all look great. But they function the same as the commons and the uncommons. So you get to see, you can show off some great cards, but it doesn't give you a tactical advantage. Now, it's very helpful for things that are coming soon, like Game Reward XP, but that's another matter. Anyway, I'm saying it's a major positive. All right, I think instead of going with partial buildings, I'm going to go burn, well, let's see. Or should I? I don't know. You know what? Building cards. Glassport Radar Facility. Basic. So that ends the turn. You never know what to expect in a given game of Warsaken Blitz. Roll 3. 16 cards and 3 actions here for Zeal. A WMD match and a Force match would beat me. Uh-oh. There's a WMD match. This will give me a compromise leader. If there's a third Igor Bach or a third Giga Crawler, GR Giga Crawler. Get off my screen.
Compromised.
There go my final 2 territories. Does Zeal have a third? There's the third force for the win. All right, good game. Zeal victorious. Warsaken Blitz Nashville Lou live. So, congratulations to Zeal on the victory. I didn't put good game, then definitely it's a good game. And I'm trying to handle technical stuff and get out of sequence. That includes I use the little emote here. Good game. So congratulations on the victory. There's, as usual, Zeal, an exciting game between us. Like, we can play a best of 7, and they probably all be great games. Just the way it goes. Some players, and then sometimes there are players where, like, it can get back and forth, but not necessarily the same intensity. I can't explain why, just the way it tends to be. But this game is so much fun to play. You'd think I'd be sick of it by now, right? This is episode 105. And yet, I'm still just absolutely loving it. Alright, what I don't love as much is having to figure out the technical issues that sometimes cause me problems. I know there are people waiting to play. And there are some things that I will be repetitive about, and I try not to be to the point of annoying people, but there are new people tuning in all the time. Okay, how can new players or people that just want to learn about the game, how can I help them with that? And there are certain basic things, once you understand it, that can really help as far as understanding it. All right, so we're opening the randomizer back up. Exclamation point, join. Type that in chat if we haven't played yet today in Warsaken Blitz. Now, the screen's going to look a little bit different than normal. The names won't show up there. But I'll be able to pull up the names in the on-screen list for the randomizer. It'll say Q, but it's the randomizer. Exclamation mark, join. Because unfortunately, the Play with Viewers app is under maintenance. So it still functions as far as getting the names listed and all, doing what I need with the queue. Carlos, you're in as well, so let me pull up again. So again, this was very last minute as far as getting that late switch put. I was like, no, why is this not showing up? I was thinking it was some sort of capture card thing. Nope, just the app under maintenance. When that happens, I deal with it. Okay, UXWU, hello, greetings and welcome. All right, so I didn't say last call. It's definitely last call. So we have 5. Let me bump one of the numbers off. Tech is in. No number bumping needed. All right, so I'm 0 for 3 today. Like I said, it can be streaky. This game, never get too high or too low because, you know, I've had that streak recently, 14 out of 15, and then lost a bunch. So you'll have that. All right, so I'm going to close the door. 6 names, 6 numbers. A little bit different with this. Actually, I will hit like this. You can see it's not a queue, but it's for the randomizer. There's the 6 names and the corresponding numbers. Let's give it a spin. One of you 6 will be my next opponent here on Nashville Lou Live. Lands on 6. Congratulations, Tech. Randomizer has chosen you. Tech, if you could please provide me with the connect code. We'll get this next game started here shortly. Funny, I mentioned, Tech, that our games tend to be a lot of fun. They be wild back and forth battles. Yeah. So if you can send me a connect code, please. We'll get this next game started here in just a moment. Later this hour, I'll be giving away another Warsaken Foil Prime card. Play another game of Twitchy Tides. Your chance to win's coming up. There's the connect code from Tech. All right. Constantly that push-pull or the years of hearing TV consultants saying, go, 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 keep the pace moving, keep it going. And then me wanting to make sure it goes properly and not have on-air mistakes. I'm 0 for 3 thus far today, but I'm breaking out the dog deck here against Tech.
Warsaken.
All right, taking on Tech here in Warsaken Blitz, Nashville Lou Live. So we'll be giving away a Warsaken Foil Prime card later in the hour with another Twitchy Tides game. We'll have more live player versus player competition. So I've got a match in hand with that. Kind of unusual. This might seem strange. I just don't like having building cards. 3 of my 8. What am I going to play when I start? One-offs? I roll like a 1 or a 2 and I don't have much in hand. I mean, building cards can be very valuable, but early on they can get in the way. So some people would not do this, but I will. Mulligan. That I can work with. Heap. I'd rather have more weather in there, but this isn't. That's not the way this works. Again, I say if you roll a 1 or a 2, at least you got something you can put out there initially. So we'll do that. Rusty. Fireforged first wave Rusty. Soldier. Dog. That's it for the turn. Taking on Tech here in Warsaken Blitz. I didn't put the thank you, good luck, have fun. Slack it. Roll 3. Warbot's giving out 15x loot. Already had 4 people thus far here in chat that have gotten that nice reward. Remember the big sale going on as well over in the Warsaken shop, up to 50% off now through Father's Day. My turn. 4. All right, nothing makes a match. I've got 3 spots open in my Warzone. Now, this is where it gets a little tough. I really don't like putting multiple sets of force cards out, especially early. But I have 4 actions, so I would feel weird not doing it this way. So we'll see what turns out. Beast. Pair of force cards. 2 sets of 2 force. I'm going to entirely pass up these last 2 actions. Keep that 3rd spot open in my Warzone. Not put more force out there, certainly. Or some people would play a one-off weather. Some people would play it differently, but this is the way I'm going to do it. Pass up those actions and end the turn. Rule of 4. Well, Tech, I hope you had fun on vacation, even if the internet was a bit dodgy for you with that. 12 cards and 4 actions here for Tech. Weather match. So that'll mean an extra turn. Force. Pair of force cards. Extra turn, roll of 5. 13 cards and 5 actions for Tech, who has a pair of weather cards and a pair of force cards in that opposite side Warzone. Building cards. Oh, I'm going back for weather. That's all that's in there. I love that you can look in your opponent's discard pile in Warsaken. At least Warsaken Blitz. Not quite sure how that works for the standard game. All right, well, Igor Bach's out there, so 2 sets of 2 force along with a pair of weather cards. My turn. 2. Yeah, 15x loot. I very much appreciate Brandon and everybody from Warsaken, what they do for streamers, and I appreciate them keeping that going. I was in a spot where I already promoted this as my next broadcast, and I need a little bit of notice sometimes to get this stuff to work the way I want it to as far as planning goes. And yet there's a fun element with a little bit of impromptu. A little bit unexpected. All right, pair of weather cards. Ideal conditions. That's it for the turn. Taking on Tech and Warsaken Blitz. Roll 3. Well, it's interesting with Warbot. He said it might get a little spammy in here. And it might. There's a weather match. I mean, extra turn. But, I mean, like I said, I don't know all the details with Warbot. I know they keep, they don't want people to abuse the system by any means. There's a force match. That eliminates one of my 4 territories. I'm down to 3. Another force match. Just like that, I'll be down to 2 territories remaining. My tenant, my ruins of the Brotherland. My turn. 4. All right, nothing makes a match. Ruins of the Brotherland. It's a -5 morale if it gets eliminated, but it boosts your starting morale by 2. There are a few cards that are like that with territories. So there are some as far as what sets your starting morale in a game of Blitz. Anyway, 4 actions here. I can give you more tips on morale because I've got nothing else here that I can play. Even putting that out there, you have to have a match already in your cards in your discard pile, kind of a prerequisite to playing that. I only have 1 spot open in my Warzone. This is not good. Oh, that I can really do though. I mean, I can pull back. Maybe I'll pull back a pair of force cards here. But then what I put out there, just keep it empty just to do it? I don't know. Already down to 2 territories. Yeah, Jungle Banana, I am. I still am the last champion from Blue Mint. I won the Grand Slam in February. Been champ for 4 months. I mean, it's just they haven't held a tournament since then. It's not like I get some sort of trophy. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it, not use any of these actions in the turn. As weird as that feels, that's just how that's the way I'm gonna approach it. Already have, too late now. Meanwhile, Tech just needs a WMD match and a force match to beat me. Tech could get that right here. Yeah, Blue Mint. I love those Blue Mint tournaments. They were great, especially when they had it where they would show the live streams. They would simulcast it over on their site. There's some people that learned about Warsaken and certainly learned about my stream directly from there. And so I hope they'll bring that back. I don't know. There's so many things going on that I don't, like, I'll hear bits and pieces or I'll know there's stuff going on, but they keep stuff under wraps. Which I guess keeps me from accidentally blabbing about it on stream, although there are things I know, there are things that I say, and they're trying. Sometimes those don't overlap. Alright, so I rolled a 3. Let's play this third beast.
Select target.
But there's confidentiality and NDAs and all sorts of stuff like that. I understand that. That's just part of the challenge of live streaming. How quickly can you adapt? Golden Farmlands. Alright, 2 spots open in my war zone. I've got 2 actions to go for the turn. Some risk in putting that out there in partial form with that pair of intel cards sitting out there. Could play a pair of stone cards here and see if that gets a reaction. I don't know. I'm going to pass up those actions in the turn. Roll 3. 14 cards and 3 actions. Well, I mean, those Blue Mint tournaments were free to enter, so I understand if there's sponsorship or whatever, but I mean, I'm up to the point where, look, I'll give you all some nice prizes to give away if you'd run it, but that's not really my call, you know? I mean, as much as I try to be proactive, I'm the producer, I'm the guy who wants to take control, make sure it runs properly because I know how things work, when I actually do know how things work, and fields of expertise, but sometimes you gotta let people do their thing and understand they can't tell you no matter how much you pry. My turn. 1. I mean, I'm just stuck here. I'm not going to play a one-off. Forget that. In the turn. I've had 4 of a card that I wanted to play. Then throwing 1 out there is a bit more reasonable. But, so I'm 0 for 3 today. At least 3 people will be winning prizes in the prize round at the end of the broadcast, including the grand prize. Somebody's going to win that black camo Agent Nika Devon. 5 actions. For Tech, there's a freezing rainstorm weather match, so that means an extra turn for Tech. Intel. You see why I wanted to not have the force cards out there as much. That'll bounce. You see, I also didn't play some of those in partial form that I had sitting there. Weather. Extra turn. I mean, a bait card. Problem is, sometimes that bait card gets in the way. I mean, there's an idea. I mean, you could try that. I don't know. I'd roll a 5 here. I mean, this could do it. And the question for Tech, if you've got a 3rd force match in hand, how long do you wait? Hoping a WMD match shows up. I mean, from a strategic standpoint, that's kind of goes to the crux of the game. And if Tech doesn't have a WMD match yet, this is the way to go. Go with weather, get extra turns. But there have been games where if I would have waited for a WMD, it would have never arrived. Never shown up. And where I've had to play 5 force matches to win. A pair of force cards, 2 sets of 2 force, and a pair of weather. Another extra turn, roll 3. 18 cards, 3 actions here for Tech. Igor Bach, Electrical Engineer Force. So I'm down to 1 territory, but that's actually a positive given that that could have been a WMD, and so that changes things. So now, another force match, I've got a compromised leader.
Compromised.
1 more force match would beat me. There's 1 force card to end the turn. My turn. 3. Okay. DX8, force.
Select target.
This force match eliminates a 2nd territory for my opponent. So Tech will be down to 2 territories, but that's it for the turn. Roll of 1. If Tech has a weather match, instead there's the 2nd force. I mean, if I were to get a WMD match in a force, I rolled a 6 and got that here, I would be able to get the win. Weather, of course, could mean an extra turn. That's always a possibility as well. 5. Well, on the WMD match, Final Devotion, explosive.
Select a target.
So this WMD match will give Tech a compromised leader.
Compromised.
Next force match wins the game. Play Sawyer's Garage, 2 building cards. That's it for the turn. So if I were to get another roll, if I got a 4 or higher, I'd win, but that's unlikely to happen here. It's a roll of 5 for Tech, 20 cards, 5 actions. 1 force match would beat me. Next force match wins the game. There it is, force match for the win. All right, good game, Tech, victorious. Warsaken Blitz, Nashville Live. There's the grand prize, pardon me, the grand prize for today. Black Camo Agent Nika Devin. Also have Warsaken super rare camo cards for the other people to beat me here live on stream. 4 games, 4 losses for me, so we'll have at least 4 winners in the prize round at the end of the broadcast. Even if you're not able to be here to see it, it'll be available later, video on demand, if you want to watch it back. Send out the prizes from my fulfillments wallet. Usually comes up just a little while after the broadcast. Once I make the VOD, turn the broadcast into a highlight so Twitch will keep it around indefinitely. Once I do that, then I get the prizes sent out from my fulfillments wallet. We go from there. All right, I'm going to go ahead now and take my hourly break. A reminder, the Win Woofie with Warsaken Weather competition still going on through the 15th. More information is available over on the Warsaken website in the news section on warsaken.com. Back in just a few minutes, we're going to have ourselves another Twitchy Tides game. Someone's going to win another Warsaken foil prime card. That's coming up in just a few minutes on the other side of this break. Warsaken Blitz, Nashville Live. Stay tuned. coming back from break. Warsaken Blitz, Nashville Lou Live. Slate back up for just a moment. All right, so we're going to have another Twitchy Tides game now. Exclamation point play and your Wax wallet. Type that in chat. If you're already connected over at Twitchy Tides and they already know your Wax wallet, this is to make it so I know who to send the prize to. Giving away a Warsaken foil prime card in this Twitchy Tides game. Exclamation point play in your Wax wallet. I make these go as quickly as possible. It's still in piranha mode. That's why I want it. Some people have different ways of approaching this. Some people make it a long game. Some people, there's a lot that goes into, I think, the thought process as far as some creativity goes from a potential standpoint. I've been thinking about with non-Web3 games. Streamed the game Journey of Wrestling over the weekend, a text-based game. Well, how can I do this with Twitchy Tides? Include that. I don't know. It's things I'm thinking and contemplating, but for now it makes for a nice setup here for giving away a Warsaken foil prime card. We have 8 people in here for this one last call. And I'll be giving away another Warsaken foil prime card. We'll have another Twitchy Tides game in our next hour of Nashville Lou Live. Okay, so we got 8 people in here. Well, a 9th UXWU got in. All right, here we go. Good luck. One of you 9 will be this hour's winner. All right, this is taking too long. But Kron wins. Congratulations, Kron. Kron, you get to be added to the list here for the Warsaken foil prime card giveaway. I'll be sending those out from my Fulfillments wallet. It's Fulfillments with an S on the end. And that'll come at the end of the broadcast after I say goodbye and get the VOD put together. So we'll have another Twitchy Tides game in our next hour. Congrats, Kron, on the victory. Okay, let's make sure I do this in the proper order so I don't get myself out of sequence here. I don't want to create expectations of people that I can't then meet up to as far as with Twitchy Tides and some of the games. So there's stuff I'm thinking about, want to be under promise and over deliver is the idea. The link to that would help if I told you how to get there. Let's say just go to Twitchy Tides. You don't just snap your fingers, but it's easy. It's twitchytides.io is the website. Once you're linked on there one time, they're set. You don't have to play the game. I think it's fun. It's not really a game for streaming per se, but it's brilliant the way they've got it set up because it encourages people like me to utilize what they've got with their games for giveaways. It's a major positive. All right, so if I haven't, let's clear and reopen the randomizer. Now this will be technical stuff. It's been a little tricky today. Exclamation point join. It won't show up on screen, but it'll be in the, it'll say Q, but it's really the randomizer. And we'll be able to have that in chat. You'll know what number associates with you. So if we haven't played yet today in Warsaken Blitz and you'd like to be my next opponent, let's see if the thing's working now. Nope, still getting the this isn't working part. So again, it's not a true Q, but it's to show you who's matched up with one number. So we got 5 people in. Looking for people I haven't played yet today in Warsaken Blitz. I mean, it's been all losses thus far. Rising Dragons, Valky, Zeal, Tech, all victorious over me. All right. So definitely last call on that. Distracted, pulled up a different browser. Oh. All right. I'll adjust the wheel, have 5 numbers. Got Kron, Carlos CGTV, CBN Live, Jungle Banana, and UXWOU. Let's give it a spin. One of you 5 will be my next opponent here on Nashville Lou Live. Remember, 15x loot being given out by Warbot. Many thanks to Warsaken for the great generosity. And it lands on 2. So congratulations, Carlos CGTV. Randomizer has chosen you. So Carlos, if you could please provide me with a connect code. We'll get this next team of the broadcast started here in just a moment. There's the grand prize for today, that black camo. Agent Nika Devin. You see there on the slate. So after this game, we'll be going back to the randomizer. We're looking for somebody else I haven't faced yet today in live player versus player competition. That 15x load has boosted the house a bit. Thanks to everybody taking the time to watch, to listen. For some of you, maybe work hours for you. Maybe you can pull it up on your phone and chat from time to time. Maybe you got another browser on your computer. Don't get in trouble, obviously. Don't do anything to get yourself, don't get heat with the boss over me. But this is a fun way for people that maybe can't play at the moment, can at least listen and even watch. And there's the code from Carlos. Thank you. Sure, have the proper scene lined up, and I do. So I'll type in this connect code from Carlos, and we'll get this next game started here shortly. Rising Dragon says, time for a comeback. Well, we'll see. Let's see if the night vision deck can help me turn it around.
Warsaken.
All right, here we go. Taking on Carlos CGTV. Warsaken Blitz, Nashville Live. Double checking, make sure I had Carlos's wax address information. All right. Okay, so my notes are up to speed. I have everything in the right place. Now we can jump into the game. And I like to see this. 2 sets of 2 that I can use. Keep. This is the Blood Fungus game map that I'm using this deck today. I get to go first. 2. Okay. Play a pair of forest cards. TXR Aerial Refueler. So that ends my turn, taking on Carlos CGTV. He rolls a 5. Thank you, XW. You have the Strategic Council battle title. See there if I pull my overlay down for a moment. There's a force match. Just like that, I'm down to 3 territories. And if you don't have a battle title chosen, it shows your rank in lieu of that, for anybody that might have wondered. All right, so a pair of WMDs, which is interesting. Threatening as well. My turn. 6. All right, so I'll be able to play a pair of force matches here. First, TXR Aerial Refueler. So this will eliminate one of my opponent's 4 territories. Wolf Power District at -6 morale. So again, the morale is the number on the shield for your opponent. More force. B6 Rabid Beast. So that force match eliminates the 2nd territory for my opponent. Fermi Energy Plants. -4 morale, so it drops down to 10. This really won't be an issue for me in most cases because I don't tend to use morale. Talked about that a little bit earlier. For at least for live streaming purposes, just because I want to encourage people to use some of the lesser seen territory that might have a higher negative morale when eliminated. I want to discourage that. Wide open war zone, 2 actions for the turn. And let's actually go weather here with the geomagnetic disturbance. That ends my turn. There's quite a bit of green out there with the night vision. Sometimes you get the false half second or so of, or the half second or so of false hope when you glance at your cards after a roll, and it looks like you have what could be a match, but they just look similar because they're night vision. So a pair of WMDs and a weather card. My turn 1. All right, I'll play an intel card. Stolen Blueprints. In green. That's it for the turn. Carlos CGTV with a roll of 2. Pair of weather cards, cloud cover. To end the turn. My turn. 6. Nothing makes a mash. I'll play a second stolen blueprints. Intel, sabotage. 2 spots open in my war zone with 5 actions to go for the turn. And let's go tranquil sunlight. Probably would have been better off doing a pullback on the intel and having weather out there instead. But I'll leave it as it is. I'm going to keep that 4th spot open in my war zone. Pass up to 3 actions and end the turn. My opponent is Carlos CGTV, who rolled a 6. 14 cards, 6 actions. Carlos CGTV. There's a 3rd cloud cover, so that's a weather match. There's a building match. So going back for weather, going back for force. One or the other. The S21R, the cloud cover, and it's the cloud cover. 2 actions to go for the turn. Pair of cloud cover cards. Extra turn. No, even if it's a 1, you can play a 3rd cloud cover. It's a roll 4. That weather train rolling. So I anticipate a 3rd cloud cover here, and there it is for an extra turn, but 3 actions still to go for this turn at 14 cards. Taking on Carlos CGTV. After this game, we'll be going back to the randomizer. There's a weather match, blinding sandstorm, so that'll be another extra turn for Carlos. Fire in the fields, weather. Extra turn, roll of 1. But is there a 3rd WMD to match the 2 out there? Nope. Instead, pair of fire in the fields, additional extra turn, roll of 2. Fire in the fields, weather, so that'll be yet another extra turn. It really does get difficult to keep track after a while. Intel. Uh-oh. Extra turn. They got discounts right now over in the Warsaken shop. There's a roll of 3 here. Up to 50% off. Both physical and digital. Along with other deals they have over there. More information, warsaken.com. So a pair of WMDs, pair of Intel cards, and now a pair of Force cards. And finally, my turn again. 6. That's unreal. $17 cards in my hand, and nothing makes a match. We'll pull back on the stolen blueprints. Play a pair of weather cards, fire in the fields. Pass up those last 2 actions and end the turn. Taking on Carlos CGTV, who has a roll of 4. Intel. You're going to bust up those 3 sets of 2 weathers. The Force made a discard. You're going to mill 6 cards from my arsenal to my discard pile. I'm guessing you're going to split up the weathers. I guessed right. 3 actions to go for the turn. Well, funny, the show's actually better the more that I lose, which is kind of a weird thing. That's, again, as I've noted many times, I'm the antagonist on my own show, and that's just the way the format is now. I can't do it any other way. I need the support of the Legion, my audience, people watching live. Once we get Game Reward XP, it's going to be definitely a different focus as far as that goes. Still gonna have a great time with it. All right, 2 sets of 2 force, a standalone force, pair of WMDs, a lot steering me down, but it's my turn. 2. Oh, hey, there's a third fire in the fields, and oh, wait, you can't play it here. I mean, this is just awful. Just awful. I mean, that's the most disheartening thing, other than being where you're drawing dead in this game, is when you get hit with intel that just completely wrecks your plans. Especially been waiting a long time like I have. All right, that's it for the turn. Getting those one-offs out of there. Cleaning out some space, but I don't know. And I mean, great, I've got 3 territories still, but whatever. There's a lot that could easily change that in a hurry on that opposite side. 2. I never played in the era when they didn't have a cap on weather. I can only imagine how maddening that might have gotten at times. 4 sets of 4 is pretty good balance. There's a force match. It has to be down to 2 territories. We're both down to 2 territories. But it's my turn. 3. I'll go intel. I'll do that. Satellite recon. Innovation. Let's bounce. Split up these 3 sets of 2. All's fair and turnaround. Chemical augmentation. H5 dropship. Arcane Ren. Bounce. That ends my turn. Taking on Carlo CGTB. We're both down to 2 territories. Roll of 6. 17 cards, 6 actions. A WMD match and a force match would beat me. That would be the game. WMD match. This will give me a compromised leader. If Carlo CGTV has a force match in hand, that's going to be the game coming up here in just a moment.
Compromised.
See the red ring of death there around my leader. One more force match would do it. Does Carlos have one at hand? Also the possibility of a weather match and yet another extra turn. Weather, so it'll be an extra turn. 4. Will this do it? One more force match would be the game. Building cards. What you going back for? Stuff I just bounced? Going back for a dropship? Not the dropship. Go back for. Oh. Probably something you had 3 of in your hand, or had an extra, enough where you had 4 after the building card. So essentially what's going to happen right here is to be my last turn, maybe extra turns, but unless there's a roll of 1 for Carlos. That's my only hope if I don't do it right here. It could happen though. Let's say 5. All right, what's the weather that I have out there? It's the geomagnetic. So, I think what I'll do is I'll play fire in the fields here and get the extra turn. I'll play 2 Barracudas. Extra turn. 2. Alas. Man. Well, always the chance that it could be a roll of 1 here for Carlos, but I don't know. Unless it's a 1, this would probably be the game. I mean, it's got to be. Went back for something to knock me out. I'm guessing it's a trio of force cards. You had a 4th in hand. There's a roll of 3. Surely this will be it. There it is. Force match. Carlos CGTV. All right, good game. Carlos CGTV victorious. Warsaken Blitz, Nashville Lou Live. Let's do a quick reset as we hit top of the hour, 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Just past that now. This is Nashville Lou Live, playing the fantastic new card strategy game, Warsaken Blitz. Blitz is the simplified version of Warsaken. Tremendous fun to play, tremendous fun to live stream. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. I'm a sports broadcaster by trade, but I've had so much fun live streaming, particularly with Warsaken Blitz, and thrilled to be doing that here with you here today. Even this is me saying this after starting right now. I'm at 0-5 on the day, 0 wins, 5 losses, and yet having a blast, which is a sign of a really good game when you can lose and still enjoy having played, especially with the live streaming element in place. All right, so again, we'll be going to the prize round at the end of the broadcast. You don't have to be present. You've already done your part of the job as far as being there, getting the win over me. All right, let's clear and now reopen the randomizer. Looking for people I haven't played yet today in Warsaken Blitz. And taking loss after loss. Now, also keep in mind there have been technical issues today, and I mentioned that because it's going to perhaps look a little bit weird. Well, it will at least initially. I'll bring the slate down because it's just a black background I had to pull together at the last second. Let's see if because the problem is the Play with Viewers app was under, maybe still be under maintenance. Let's see. Yeah, it's still under maintenance. So I'll be able to pull up the numbers in queue. We'll see the associated numbers. It's not a cube per se, but it's just, that's what they call it here. So this is just a list of the numbers. We had 4 people. Last call, ! Join. If we haven't played yet today in Warsaken Blitz and you'd like to be my next opponent, we've got Kron, CVN Live, Jungle Banano, and UXWU in there. All right, let's close the door. We'll give it a spin. One of you 4 be my next opponent here on Nashville Lou Live. Got Warbot giving out 15x loot today. Lands on 3. So congratulations, Jungle Banano. Randomizer has chosen you. So if you could please, Jungle Banano, provide me the connect code. We'll get this next game started here shortly. You already got it for me, thank you. So I'll bring the slate down. Uh-oh, I did that a little too fast. Type this code in extra quickly. There we go. All right, see, all the way through. Loss. So, second time through the lineup. See if this goes a little bit better for me this time.
Warsaken.
All right, here we go. Taking on Jungle Banano. Warsaken Blitz. Later this hour, I'll be giving away another Warsaken Foil Prime card. Your chance to win's coming up. We'll have a Twitchy Tides game. And that'll be on the other side of this hourly break, or my hourly break that I will be taking here in a bit. First things first, so let's get to a pair of weather cards. I shouldn't say these things out loud, maybe, but I did. Keep. It's something that I can work with out of the gate. So my opponent gets to go first. The game randomly picks one of the 2 players to start. And Jungle Banana with 10 cards and 2 actions. Well, that's a good question, UXW. If that 24 karat gold Leader, infinite leader at that. Will come through for me. We'll see. 5. Nothing makes a match. Bolt. All right. Well, let's put some weather out there, shall we? Pair of freezing rainstorms. 3 spots open in my war zone. 3 actions to go for the turn. Play a pair of shattered ground cards. Weather. So 2 sets of 2 weather. I have 1 action to go for the turn, and I could put an intel out there. I mean, I could put a force as well. I've got options. But I really do value keeping that 3rd spot open. But I will go and play. I mean, I will mix it up sometimes. It's just a matter of feel in a given game. Some of it is, trial and error as well, seeing what works and doesn't. We'll play 1 intel card, and that ends the turn. Roll 6. 14 cards, 6 actions here for Jungle Banana. Uh-oh. There's a WMD match. This will eliminate 2 of my 4 territories. I'll be down to 2. There's my Treasury Department. And just like that, down to 2 territories, 3 actions to go for the turn. Jungle Banana with the ally battle title. And you can customize that as well by deck, just like the game mat. This rustic wall here, my turn. Intel card played to end the turn. Rolled a 1. Actually, in some ways, I'd rather have the weather out there, but just the 1 action. I'll do it the other way instead of play a second assassination attempt. And that'll end the turn. Roll of 1. Taking on Jungle Banana here in Warsaken Blitz. A second intel card. My turn. 2. Man. All right, nothing makes a match. I'm going to keep that 4th spot open, pass up the 2 actions in the turn. Taking on Jungle Banana and Warsaken Blitz. 6. 14 cards, 6 actions. There's a 3rd intel that'll likely split up the 3 sets of 2 out there in my war zone. It could force a discard. It could mill 6 cards from my arsenal to my discard pile, but I'm thinking we're going to get the bounce. There's the bounce, 1 of each. 5 actions to go for the turn. Cloud cover, weather. Will be an extra turn. Pair of intel cards, extra turn, roll a 6. 14 cards and 6 actions here for Jungle Banana. Intel. Good bounce. Well, I'm going to mill 6 cards from my arsenal to my discard pile. At least there weren't any building. My worst part's when building cards end up there. That can be really disheartening. Force match. Being a disheartening, I'll be down to 1 territory. Jungle Banana bringing it. 2 actions to go for the turn. Over on DraftKing.com, I've got an entire Warsaken card catalog. Definitely want to check that out. Pair of force cards. That ends the turn. My turn. 4. Hey, weather that doesn't make a trio now that the force was played. And a well-timed intel can really flummox your opponent, or flummox you as the case may be. We'll go with force here. At least have 3 of these. Dreadnought 6.
Select target.
This force match will eliminate one of my opponent's 4 territories. So pull back on the intel card. That's it for the turn. Taking on Jungle Banana, Warsaken Blitz, Nashville Lou Live. It's a 1. No play. My turn. 2. Play a pair of Tranquil Sunlight cards. That's it for the turn. Roll 3 for Jungle Banana. Weather, so that'll be an extra turn. 2 actions still to go for this turn. Jungle Banana needs 2 more force matches to beat me. Weather, ideal conditions. My next Warsaken broadcast will be tomorrow, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1800 UTC. Roll of 6. Will this do it? 15 cards, 6 actions. Jungle Banana needs 2 force matches to beat me. So I have 1 territory remaining. That gets eliminated, it'll give me a compromised leader. Once I've got a compromised leader, all that Jungle Banana would need is a force match to beat me. Warbot continues to give out the 15x loot. Post a link there. Very latest on what Warbot is giving out. Meanwhile, it's a building match over here for Jungle Banana. Going back for the Phoenix Reaper? No. Incel. Bounce Weathers. You're going to mill 6 more cards from my arsenal to my discard pile. Well, not sure what to expect. Okay. So 2 of the Tranquil Sunlights and the other, the one-off remaining from before's Intel play with the Shattered Ground also bounce. My turn. 4. Hey. A building match. What would I go back for? 2 and 2. Let's see. What do I have in hand with those? Those 2. You have to look before you leap with your building. Once you have a building match, you can't look back in your hand. So you play Intel against me, you have to wait. Because I'm going to look and figure out what makes sense. All right. Ground, Shattered Ground. I think that's the move. Ghost Training Facility. Building. You said get 1 each of 2 cards you have in hand. I mean, is that possible with that or that? I don't think it is. Most of these are sets of 3. Oh, maybe not. There were, let's see. So I don't think I've got where there's 2 of any of them. Boom, boom. Boom. That's what we're going to do. Okay, Ghost Training Facility. Do it. Building. Probably won't matter because I have 1 territory left, and there's a lot over there that could do me in for the next turn, but I will try. Alright, so this. And these 2. I'm not just going to put 1 out there as a one-off, though. That would be like a poor choice. Instead, 3 spots open in the war zone. I'll play Exploited Design Flaw Intel. That's it for the turn. Taking on Jungle Banana here in Warsaken Blitz. Had a long game. Fight continues. Roll 5. Will this do it? 17 cards and 5 actions. Jungle Banana just needs 2 force matches to beat me. 2 sets of 2 force out there in the war zone. There's Kensho Prime Regent. That force match will give me a compromised leader. There it is, Bella Ivanova for the win. All right, good game. Jungle Banana victorious. So congratulations on the victory, Jungle Banana. Join Rising Dragons, Valky, Zeal, Tech, and Carlos CGTV. People that have earned a spot in the prize round of today's broadcast. So 0 for 6 today for me. That's 6-0 for the Legion against me. We'll have a lot to give out in the prize round. That'll be roughly 45 minutes from now, give or take. We have time to get in another Warsaken Blitz game. And clear and open the randomizer. Exclamation point, join. If we haven't played yet today in Warsaken Blitz and you'd like to be my next opponent. From 0 for 6 to start. And again, as noted earlier, there's an issue where they're doing some maintenance on the Play with Viewers app, so it's not going to show up on screen. But I can make it show up here. It'll say queue. It's not a queue. It's just who's in the randomizer. So you got CVN Live and UXWOU. Last call, exclamation point, join. If we haven't played yet today in Warsaken Blitz and you'd like to be my next opponent. My next broadcast with Warsaken Blitz will be tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1800 UTC. Episode 106. All right, let's see. Do I have the proper screen pulled up? No, I don't. Why double check these things? All right. Looks like this will be a two-person spin. All right, so I'm going to close the door. We'll give it a spin. One of you two will be my next opponent here on Nashville Lou Live. Lands on one, so CVN Live. Congratulations, the randomizer has chosen you. Rising Dragon says it feels like a one-sided football match. 6-0 or 6-0. All right. And you already got the code for me. I appreciate that. Thank you, CVN Live. So we got the Connect code, which expedite this a bit. Switch the scenes out. Pull the slate down. I'll type in this Connect code. And we'll get after it.
Warsaken.
All right, here we go. Taking on CVN Live, Warsaken Blitz, Nashville Lou Live. You get that 15x from Warbot giving out loot. 15, when 1x is generous. 15x, my goodness. All right, I can work with a pair of force cards. Keep. And I get to go first. 5. All right, limited options. Play a pair of Demon Shield. Force cards. 3 spots open in my war zone. 3 actions for the turn. I just don't know. Having 2 sets of 2 force out there early, I don't know about that. So I won't. Pass at the actions in the turn. Remember, if you put it out there in your war zone, your opponent could play intel and bounce it. Taking on CVN Live here in Warsaken Blitz. We're giving away a Warsaken foil prime card later in the hour. We'll have a Twitchy Tides game to determine that. Pair of weather cards, pair of force cards. For CVN Live, then Intel. My turn. Pair of Intels at that. 3. All right, lucky me. End up with a WMD match. Maw's Gas. So this will eliminate 2 of CVN Live's 4 territories. Scrapyard, Brotherland Fields, eliminate. But that's it for the turn. Taking on CVN Live here in Warsaken Blitz. Roll 1. No play. My turn. 1. Okay. Weather. Fire in the fields. That ends my turn. 5. 14 cards and 5 actions here for CVN Live. WMD match. This will eliminate 2 of my 4 territories. A tenant, not that tenant, that's a different deck. Non-tenant, it's Black Earth Mine. It sticks around. With the Treasury Department and Vast Hinterland, get the heave-ho. So we're both down to 2 territories. A pullback. So a pair of weather cards and a pair of intel cards for CVN Live, but it's my turn. Roll 6. I got a weather match. Fire in the fields. Weather. Extra turn. 3 spots open in my war zone. 4 actions to go for the turn. Intel. Rummage. Pair of force. Pair of intel. Extra turn pending. 2 spots open in my war zone and 2 actions for the turn if I want to take them. But I'm actually going to pass up the actions. Not sure. I mean, 2 sets of 2 is so tough to know. I'd rather keep that 3rd spot open for at least 1 more roll. 6. All right, so I'll have a force match here to eliminate a 3rd territory. And I got a rummage I can play. But first, Dimitrov Tech 11 mech force. That force match eliminates a 3rd territory. Abandoned Wasteland. Only a -1 morale, but also dings you 1 for your morale to start the game. So I need to get 2 force matches to get the win. That's not going to be on the docket just yet. Instead, let's play this 3rd rummage card. The earlier the better if you're going to force your opponent to discard. Harvey Dent, thank you for the raid. Thank you. Greetings and welcome. Oh, thank you for the raid. A quick shout out here for Harvey Dent. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Harvey. Really appreciate it. Absolutely hilarious. Portrayal of Edith Bowen. Oh, is it shout out, not shout? Edith. Let me type this in first. First things first. When it comes to the technical stuff, it gets to be a challenge sometimes. There's the shout out for Harvey Dent. Edith Bowden is this character that Harvey portrays as an elderly woman from Davenport, Iowa, or Loa, as it were. And it's getting real life scammers that think they have a victim on the phone and making them do all sorts of crazy things, wasting their time and being entertaining at the same time. It's incredible. It's high stress, and Harvey's one of the very best at it. Outstanding. Highly recommended, Harvey Dent.
Select target.
Meanwhile, CBN Live's going to be like, what are you doing over there, Lou? Sorry. But a raid like that, got to be happy about it. Thank you so much, Harvey. Thanks to everybody. All my friends from over there for stopping in to check this out for a little bit with that raid. Thank you so much. Okay, 2 actions to go for the turn. Keep the gaze. Thank you for the follow. Thank you. I'm playing a game called Warsaken Blitz. Live player versus player competition, which is great for live streaming for me. Have a lot of fun with this game. You're trying to eliminate your opponent's leader, and to do so, you have to have your opponent. One of 3 things have to happen, but here in particular, Eco Bila, thank you for the follow. Thank you. The Warsaken in the house as well. Good times. I'm not sure what you tried to type there, Warsaken. It came through with asterisks. Just give a click. Thank you for the follow. Oh, excellent. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. All right, I've got 2 actions to go here for the turn. Let me play a pair of intel cards. CBN Live's going to come on, Lou. Pick up the pace. Oh, it wouldn't let you. Oh, I'm surprised it wouldn't let post that. Okay, I'm going to have to do something with this auto mod. What it will and won't let people post. There it is, Warsaken.com. Information on this wonderful game. 1 action here for CBN Live. It's the sign of a good game when you can play the game and enjoy having played even if you lose. And I've had some luck. A week or two ago, I won 14 out of 15. Today, 0 for 6. Goose egg for me, and yet I'm having fun. I can be competitive, but in this format, it actually works to the betterment of the show when I don't win as much. There's more people beating me and winning prizes. Now, I can play 2 building cards here, but if I do that, there's a chance they could get bounced. Use building cards to bring cards back from your discard pile to your hand. So I really don't want to risk it putting those out there. So instead of that, I got 2 spots open in my war zone. Play a pair of tropical cyclone cards. Weather. Maddie Mookow. That's hilarious. I love that nickname you got for Maddie. I'm trying to pull up the Maddie emote, and it's not. I'm trying to do this within. Okay, I'm not doing this within OBS Studio. Was ill-advised by me. Meanwhile, let me pull the enemy's turn down. There's a force match. This will eliminate a 3rd territory for me. Two actions to go for the turn. Yeah, Spudnik helped me out there. There we go. If I actually go into the browser page, I have to test it to make sure that the live signal's working. It works there better than OBS Studio. So I'm down to 1 territory, so is my opponent, but it's my turn. I need to get 2 force matches to get the win. It's a 6. I should be able to get the win right here. Finally, in my losing streak. Demon Shield. It's a G-Force. Limit 1 per deck. Blitz is the simplified version of Warsaken. All that matters is that it's a force match. That eliminates my opponent's final territory and give my opponent a compromise leader. Once your opponent has a compromised leader in Warsaken Blitz, at that point, all you need is a force match to get the win and enough actions to play him. Luckily, I've got both. One of the best card names in the game, the A4 Revenge Super Carrier for the win. And look at this leader card right here for CBN Live. This decadent Tyrant Arin. Fantastic artwork in this game. All right, good game, CBN Live. Warsaken Blitz, Nashville Lou Live. Bring the slate up. Remind everybody, grand prize for today's show. Somebody's going to win that black camo Agent Nika Devin Force card. Only 50 of those total that exist, and one of those is the grand prize for today. So I'm coming up now on my hourly break. We'll have that on the other side of the break. We're giving away a Warsaken Foil Prime card. Your chance to win coming up with that. Also, reminder, the Win Woofie with Warsaken weather competition continues through the 15th. You gotta get all of them. All 18 of those weathers details in the Warsaken Discord. Great people in there as well to help point you in the right direction. And again, many thanks Harvey Dent for the raid. Greatly appreciated. It'll be about a 5-minute break. On the other side of this break, I'll be giving away a Warsaken Foil Prime card. Then we're going back to live player versus player competition. Oh, and by the way, 15x loot from Warbot. The generosity from Warsaken greatly appreciated. So back in just a few minutes, we'll do the Warsaken Foil Prime card giveaway with Twitchy Tides in the back with more live player versus player competition. Warsaken Blitz, Nashville Lou Live. Stay tuned. All right, coming back from break. I do a Twitchy Tides game. Now, you need a Wax wallet to participate. So if you don't have a Wax wallet, you can't get on this. But if you do, now's your chance to get in. Exclamation point play, and then your Wax wallet. Type that in chat. If you'd like to enter this hour's Warsaken Foil Prime card game that I'm having here with the game Twitchy Tides. Ideally, it would be 4 seconds at tops to have it complete. So I want to go boom, 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 quickly. The TV news producer and me always want to keep the pace, the flow going. At the same token, give people a chance to get in on it. So you have to have a Wax wallet. But if you got one of those, and it's not that difficult to get set up, once you got that, very easy. We have 8 names in their last call, exclamation point, play along with your Wax wallet. Earlier we had RCP, ADG win. We had Kron win. We'll have one more winner here right now. We'll go back to live player versus player competition, Warsaken Blitz. Okay. I've got to make it where it'll post the proper information for the link. Because that is becoming a problem for me. Okay, so before I start typing in things, let me do one other thing here. We'll get to this in just a moment. Normally it goes smoother than this. Today, the technical stuff has caused me challenges. It's twitchytides.io is the link. And again, if you got a Wax wallet, you connect there once and get everything as far as your name goes, so they know who you are. Then you're all set and you have to type your address every time. All right, so I think everything is set and good to go. We'll go ahead and get started with it. Let's find out who this hour's Foil Prime card winner is going to be. This is designed to go quickly. Went fast, fast, fast. And there we have it. Welsh Dan FT, congratulations. So you're the winner for this hour. Congratulations on that. Welsh Dan FT, I watched several hours of broadcast over the weekend. Really enjoyed it. We bring the slate back up. So again, these prizes will be sent out after the broadcast. Double checking one thing real fast on this side here. Okay. And so unfortunately today, the Play with Viewers app has been not fully cooperative. They've been doing some maintenance on it. And so it makes it a little weird as far as what you see on screen. I had to kind of improvise. It was exclamation, maybe. Oh, I should have opened it. Uh-oh. Clear and open, so hang on. Oh, not clear T, clear. Ugh. Now, okay, so if we haven't played yet today in Warsaken Blitz and you'd like to be my next opponent, exclamation point and join. You need to have a Warsaken deck to be able to play me, but if you have that, you want to get in on this. Again, because of the maintenance they're doing today, the names won't show up on screen for me like they normally do. That's why it's that black background I put in there last second style when the purple wasn't showing up, the names weren't showing up. See, that's normally it shows up the way it's supposed to, and this is not up. That's the background. So I'm going to dip back over here. All right, so we have 2 names, 2 people. We've got Kron, and we've got the last Czar. Well, I'll go ahead and close the door. We'll give it a spin. One of you 2 will be my next opponent here on Nashville Lou Live. Lands on 1. Congratulations, Kron. A randomizer is chosen. I'm going to have to look into this with chat as far as it not letting links go through. There's the Warsaken.cards, and of course Warsaken.com. The .com's going to have a lot of the news, information, etc. All sorts of possibilities. So it lands on 1, so Kron, congratulations. Normally it looks much nicer than this. It's a shame, but today I greatly appreciate it. Again, thanks so much to Harvey Dent for the raid. He's absolutely hilarious. I don't see how he doesn't crack up laughing at some of the outrageous, outlandish stuff that he gets these real-life scammers who think they have legitimate victims on the phone. get them to do, and it's sometimes horrifying and then sometimes quite amusing to see these people that are criminals who think they've got a victim themselves are the ones getting played. All right. There's the connect code from Cron. Thank you. Scam baiting's been around for a long time. Going back to the 419 scams, and of course the emails. The princes need to get $8 million out. You just need to help. Just pay just $1,500 to get the money over, you know, and then you never see that $1,500. It disappears. But it's sometimes even more demented, the twist that get taken. Anyway, so it's a public service on top of everything else. What people in the scam baiting community, I just don't have the aptitude or the patience or the talent to pull it off the way, especially the way Harvey does. It's great. So I got the code. Let me go ahead and type it in. We'll get this next game started here shortly.
Warsaken.
All right, here we go. Taking on Cron, and yes, Warbot. And we got 15 X-Loots, greatly appreciated. It rewards people for watching official Warsaken streamers when we're live, which is invaluable. Anyway, I'm incredibly grateful for it and very happy to have it. Thank you so much for doing that, Warsaken. Not so happy about this. The only pair I have are building cards, and I'm not putting those out. Because if your building cards get bounced, then what do you do when you can't go back to your discard pile? What you need is so don't put yourself in a catch-22. At least that's my thought. So I'll take a mulligan. It'll reshuffle my arsenal of 60, my deck. And there'll be 8 cards again. Pair of these right here. I can work with that. I just need something I can work with initially. Don't take that second mulligan unless you absolutely have to. At least that's my thought. And I get to go first. Hello, Morbid Angel. Greetings and welcome. I rolled a 1. Well, I can play 1 card here. That's the way it works with Warsaken Blitz. You roll a die, and you get that, whatever the die number is, you get that many cards and that many actions. Or action singular here is in 1 action off the rule of 1. Burn notice, intel. With Warsaken Blitz, it's the categories that matter more than the individual cards themselves. And it's a roll of 1 for Cron. Like that categories overlay, that's something that I have. Normally it looks like that. There's not a lot of free space on here. Warsaken makes tremendous use of its on-screen space. It's the UI, especially for a game that's still in beta. Still technically a beta release. And man, this game is so much fun. And it's so smooth. The artwork is fantastic. Rolled a 2, and look at that. Now here's where I will go for the forced discard. If you're going to do this, you want to do it early. I wouldn't bounce just a 1 weather card sitting out there. Besides that, I mean, what else am I going to do with this? Nothing else even makes a pair. So I'll play another 2 burn notice cards. This will give me an intel match. And we have an intel match. You got 3 different choices. You can mill 6 cards from your opponent's arsenal to their discard pile. And you can force them to discard 3, or you can bounce 3 cards from their war zone. But if they have 1 card and you choose that, you bounce the 1 card and that's it. Not good value. Better value, if you're going to make them discard, make them do it early. Enemy discard 3. Particularly once your opponent has played a WMD match, I strongly discourage the forced discard. You may be doing them a favor. They've got WMDs hanging out in their hand they can't use. You also gain information from this. It's force, force, and force. I'll take that. Meanwhile, roll a 6. I love that you can look into your opponent's discard pile. Yeah, you can feel free to put the video from Quadrill's YouTube in here if it'll actually post. I'm gonna have to do something with this because it's probably if I leave it wide open, you know that's gonna be the bots and nonsense gets posted. And I can try and set it to followers only. I don't know. I've got to figure this out. If it's my turn. There's a Bloodfoil G-Force I'm kind of no-selling there. And shouldn't be because that is a nice card. One thing up against Cron. Only place you're going to see is a 1 of 1. Goliath 65 Bloodfoil. Something means business. Man. So I rolled a 6, but nothing makes a match. Play a pair of weather cards. Fire in the fields. 3 spots open in my war zone. 4 actions to go for the turn. I'll play a pair of force cards with a DX8. Robot dogs with laser beams. Now, I have 2 spots open in my war zone. Nothing even makes a pair, so it's not an argument. Let's say if I would have had a second pair of force cards, I wouldn't necessarily want to play them here, because if you have them out there, they could get bounced by an opponent playing Intel to bounce them. Plus, this keeps it open if I get something better and roll a 3 next time, then I've got some latitude with it. Anyway, that's just me thinking out loud. No play at all to be had here, so I'll pass up the actions in the turn. Taking on Kron here in Warsaken Blitz. Roll of 1. So I've taken 6 losses today, which means 6 people will be in the prize round that we'll have at the end of the broadcast. We'll have this game and 1 more before we get to that. Kron trying to join the list. My turn. 1. Well, about the same as it was at the end of the last turn. Nothing even makes a pair. And I very much don't like... Some people will do this. Will just throw a weather out there as a one-off. I'm much more disinclined to do that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That tends to be my approach. Pass up the action in the turn. Now, of course, what I do early in a game versus late in a game, and what I do relative to what I think my opponent has also becomes a factor. Decidedly less inclined to put cards out there in my war zone if I think there's a strong possibility of Intel being played against them. So a pair of weather cards with Tsunami to go with the standalone weather, and that G-Force tank. That's it for the turn. That's the one thing that doesn't match on the categories list for Force. It's a G-Force. You have one of those per deck. It doesn't give you any special power, per se, within Warsaken Blitz, but it's a cool-looking card to have. 6. Man, did nothing make a match? Oh, brutal. Brutal. Man, this has been the way it's gone for me today. I just have not had a lot as far as catching the breaks go with this stuff. Well, such is life, right? All right, cloud cover. I can do that. So I got 2 sets of 2 weather, a pair of force cards. I got 4 action. I could do a recall, and I will, in fact, do a recall. Bring back the DX8. Got some new firmware to install. That opens up a spot, is why I did it that way. 2 actions for the turn, 2 spots open. And now I can play a pair of Intel cards with Control the Message. I'd rather have Intel out there than Force. That's it for the turn. Roll 6. Yeah, it's been interesting today, UXWU. I've taken a lot of losses. And you'll have that with this game. RNG plays a major role. But there is strategy, there is skill to it. But again, this makes it so much easier to get into the game when you can play it where it's just you're dealing by categories and focusing on that. It's not difficult to learn how to play Warsaken Blitz, and it's so much fun. And once we get Game Reward XP, oh my goodness, we're going to have a blast. Later on tonight, I'll have to catch the VOD of Harvey Dent's broadcast from earlier. Greatly appreciate that raid from Harvey Dent. So there's a building match. Means you're going back for something. I'm guessing for the stuff that I bounced. Go back for the Kraken. It could be a weather. It's also a possibility to go back for weather. But I'm guessing you're going back for the forces. If it wasn't a bounce, it was a force discard early. Yep, that undoes the damage I caused there with the force discard. All those back in hand. 16 cards and 2 actions for the turn. I guess extra turn, roll a 4. 20 cards and 4 actions. See, the links are getting asterisked out, and I can't figure out how to make it not do that in the middle of the broadcast. Jungle Banana, could you whisper that to me? Maybe that would work. As far as the link to Quadrell's YouTube, if people want to learn how to play. My turn. 2. All right, thankfully, a weather match. So we'll get an extra turn. I'll have one action to go for the turn after this. Two spots open in my war zone. Actually going to pass up that remaining action in the turn. Now the extra turn. 2. Well, okay. I've already shown it before. Put it back out there, the DX8. That's it for the turn. Taking on Kron here in Warsaken Blitz. After this game, we'll be going back to the randomizer. We'll be looking for one more opponent for today's broadcast. After that, we'll go to the prize round. We'll find out who today's grand prize winner will be. Find out the prizes for the rest of today's winners, and it's been a near clean sweep for the Legion today. There's a WMD match. That WMD match will eliminate 2 of my 3 remaining territories. I'll be down to 1. I lost to Rising Dragons, lost to Valky, lost to Zeal, lost to Tech, lost to Carlos CGTV, and lost to Jungle Banana. Taking on Kron right now. Force match. Gives me a compromised leader.
Compromised.
Once you have a compromised leader, all your opponent needs is 1 force match to win. There's a pair of force cards. So I'm up against it right here, but it's my turn. It can look bleak, but sometimes in this game, things will remarkably turn for you at the last minute. But I'm not so sure it's going to happen here. All right. I mean, I can play the DX8. We'll do that first. So I'm in a major deficit here, so. But I will give it a try. Vancouver Island. I'm going to have to get another roll, though. I'm not going to be able to do all this turn. Now I can go and play Azar Cyrus Fabricator. Eliminate a second territory. But that'll be it for the turn. I still have this compromised leader over here. Roll of 1. But is there a third Phoenix Reaper? At F92 Phoenix Reaper. There's 2 of them out there. If there's a third in hand, that would be the game. Roman's Prototype. It's a force card, but it's not a force match. Means I get another roll. Let's see. 2. Well. Now it's just taunting me. I have it in hand, but I need to win the game. But, I mean, realistically, just getting this roll is a long shot. All right, well, I can play 1 Final Devotion. And I'll leave it at that. Pass at the action in the turn. With this, I'll probably do it right here. 2. A Phoenix Reaper or a pair of Roman's Prototype cards. Or, excuse me, APEC 55 mech. It's not a Roman's Prototype. Looks similar, but different card, which is important. There's a second. Is there a third? If there is, that would be the game. There's not. I'm going to get another roll. Can you believe this? 6. I'm going to win the game. Never give up. In Warsaken Blitz, as long as you have cards in your arsenal. Final Devotion, WMD. That eliminates my opponent's final 2 territories. Gives my opponent a compromise later.
Compromised.
Next force match wins the game, and I have it right here. Z27 Tiger for the win. That was a battle right there. My goodness, what a fight. Good game. Got the echo effect there. That was an improbable rally. You have that sometimes in this game. I feel very fortunate to get that win. Good game, Kron. Warsaken Blitz, Nashville Lou Live. Let's bring the slate back up for a moment. To whisper the links. I will give that a look here in just a second, Jungle Banana. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clear and then reopened the randomizer, looking for people I haven't played yet today in Warsaken Blitz. Last game of the broadcast, so if you want to get in, now's your chance. Exclamation point to join. We haven't played yet today in Warsaken Blitz. I know it's got a black background. It's not going to show up on the screen because of the maintenance going on today with the Play with Viewers app, but at least it's functioning, which is the important part. It says queue, but it's not a true queue system, but it's just to show you what the numbers are with the associated viewer. So UXWU and Morbid Angel, the two in there. Last call on this for the last game of the broadcast. So let me see if I can... Now, why doesn't that show me the messages here? Or did you send it to me on Discord? So I'm going to get those links to Quadrell's YouTube going. I can probably find it if I look here for a moment. Oh, sorry, Valky, this is for people I haven't played yet. You already beat me. You already earned a spot in that final round. Well, I'll have to check that in a minute here with the links. Being a one-man broadcast machine does have its challenges. All right, so let's go ahead and close the door. In chatbot maintenance, you might encounter issues. Well, we have, but make the best of it. So if it's a 1, it's UXWU. If it lands on 2, it's Morbid Angel. Good luck. One of you two will be my last opponent of the broadcast. And it lands on 1. Congratulations, UXWU. Randomizer has chosen you. So if you could please provide me the connect code. All right, thank you. Bring the slate down. We'll type in this connect code that I got from UXWU. For the dog deck.
Warsaken.
All right, here we go. Taking on UXWU and Warsaken Blitz. This is the 9th match of the broadcast. Normally I try to get 10, but we had the technical issues. Or I had the technical issues more specifically. That slowed things up a bit. So this will be 9 in total for today. All right, and I can stare at these cards all day. It won't change anything. So he's a mulligan. I'll reshuffle my arsenal of 60. There'll be 8 cards. Much better this one. No need for a second mulligan. Keep. This is the base entrance game mat that I'm using with this deck today. Taking on UXWU, who gets to go first and rolls a 3. So again, kind of somewhat use a makeshift approach today with the Play with Viewers app being under maintenance, but who's going to complain? We got 15x loot being given out from Warbot. Pair of weather cards and a force card opposite me. My turn. Roll 3. Wide open war zone. I had this out of my starting 8. After that mulligan. Beast. Force. This force match will eliminate one of my opponent's 4 territories. All right, so that's it for the turn. Roll a 4. I'll be back with Warsaken Blitz tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1800 UTC. I might do a second stream tonight. I might try out some more of that Journey to Wrestling game. To be determined on that. Journey of Wrestling. I should get the name right from the promoted. Journey of Wrestling. It's one of those where I blink and 2 hours went by when I streamed it, like in the middle of the night. The other night when I was working, testing some stuff out. 2 actions to go for the turn. Although I tend to be a lot more optimistic about my energy level, and then the broadcast, when I'm speaking during a live broadcast, then when it's over, then the adrenaline wears off a little bit. Oh, maybe 2 in one day is not such a good idea. We'll see that. If I do play it, it won't be for very long. It's also a very different type of pacing with a text-based booking game. pair of intel cards to go with a pair of force cards and a pullback on the weather. 2 actions to go for the turn for UXOOU. The John Cena of Warsaken Blitz. You can't see. You got to remember, I'm from the world of radio. I love the mystery. You know, there's that little extra 1% of doubt that adds that little charm to radio. That, I mean, the business is not what it used to be in radio, and yet in some ways it's just morphed. I don't know. Me being on camera would just be distracting to me. Roll 5. I'll do it if I have to, like for a tournament or whatever, but or somebody wants to pay. Otherwise, we're doing this one my way. All right, so weather match, fire in the fields. It's not letting me click. After a while, the system gets a little bit cranky sometimes, after a little grumpy. Easy fix, though, in F5. It takes all 2 seconds or 3. Are you going to make me sign in? Come on, don't make me sign in. Don't make me do that song and dance. Oh, my goodness. Well, that just brings things to a screeching halt. Hang on. Stand by, please. Everything's on maintenance today, says Rising Dragons. I don't know. Wax was having problems last night, so let's see. I'm making sure I'm not... I have the slate up, okay. Why would I need to... How do I have to log in now? I think it makes you re-log in every X number. I don't know. Why would pick right now? And of course, I mean, again, okay, now I'm not going to be so happy about it. The charm of this hitting F5 to get the game to relaunch fails miserably when you got to deal with this, but we'll get through it. Of course, I have good. 2-factor authentication. I mean, I can't complain about security. It's just something else. I had to go get my phone from across the room. I can log back into this thing I was in for 3 hours. Ugh. It slays me on a live broadcast because I'm vulnerable to this sort of thing. You can hear it. I can see it because I had the slate up. It got me back in at least. All right. Anyway. 5 minutes later. What was I doing? Extra turn. I wasn't doing the 3 actions. So I'll play a pair of clever hijack intel cards. Extra turn. 3. All right, a third clever hijack intel. Let's bounce. Split these 3 sets of 2. Fire in the fields. Dark Bear 2 XP. Detachment. Intel bounce. Oh, I know you've got stuff coming soon, Warsaken. That wasn't the game. That was Wax doing its thing. It can be a little particular sometimes. So yeah, it's not a reflection on the game. I mean, the fact this plays so smoothly, considering it's still in beta releases, it's really something. All right, 2 actions here. I'm discombobulated a bit. All right, Stone. Force. Put that out there. That'll end the turn. Taking on UXOOU. Rolls a 1. After this, we'll go to the prize round. We'll find out who today's grand prize winner is. And 6 people have beat me today. If I lose to UXOOU, it'll be 7. And we'll have some Warsaken super rare camo cards for the other winners that don't end up with the grand prize. So 4 actions here with 3 spots open in my war zone. Nothing makes a match. Okay, in a situation like this, yes, I could play another force pair. But I know I also bounced intel that was out there, but that doesn't mean there's not more intel. I'll be heading back my way. I don't like having multiple sets of force out there, so I'm not going to. Pass up the 4 actions in the turn. And maybe I should have been more aggressive there with it. There's also the factor my opponent's down to 3 territories. So if I ever had like matches for both sets of forces, but I didn't have a WMD in hand, then I have to make a decision of, okay, how far do I want to extend it with my force cards if I'm going to wait for a WMD to show up? So again, strategy comes into play with Warsaken Blitz. That roll the die can play a major factor as well. But it's fun. It's fun to play this game. It's so much fun to live stream it. Force match. This will eliminate one of my 4 territories. There's my Flame Tech Port of Karmasani. Eliminated. My 1 tenant card I have in here. Once Game Reward XP gets here, I won't be using that in game much anymore. At least not in Blitz. So working into the rotation for now. So a pair of force cards. So there's a pair of force cards on the standalone force and intel out there. My turn too. I mean, it's almost the exact same spot as last time. Now, waiting an extra turn, sometimes okay, wait long enough and we'll try it. But I still don't think that's the move. But nothing else makes sense to put out there. I can put one-off weathers, but as I've already mentioned in this broadcast today, I'm not much for doing that. So I'm not going to. Guess what? Pass up the actions in the turn. Take it on UXWU. It's the last game of the broadcast. After this, we'll go to the prize round. We'll find out who today's grand prize winner is. Find out about the prizes for the rest of the winners as well. There's a WMD match. That WMD match will eliminate 2 of my 3 territories. I'll be down to 1. That's it for the turn. My turn. 1. I'm going to pass up the action in the turn. Taking on UXWU. Rolls a 4. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1800 UTC. That's the start time. Episode 106 of Warsaken Blitz on Nashville Lou Live. Tomorrow right here on Twitch. Simulcast on DraftKing.com, my NFL draft website. That would be something, Rising Dragons. The dream that you got it pulled an owner card from a pack, and you wake up and realize it was just a dream. Man. Owner cards are tough to come by. So it's 2 sets of 2 force. Now a second intel card. Remember I played that intel that bounced what would have been a 3rd had it still been out there. So then it's my turn. 5. Weather match. Blinding sandstorm. Weather. Extra turn. 3 spots open in my war zone. 2 actions for the turn. Weather. Ideal conditions. Extra turn. 6. All right, got my WMD match. Got a force match. So give me an extra turn. Not extra turn. I got plenty extra. I'll give my opponent a compromised leader. Won't have an extra turn, but that's okay. White phosphorus bomb. WMD. So this will eliminate 2 of my opponent's 3 remaining territories. Both down to 1 territory. Both played a WMD. Play Rusty. Force. Sick 'em. So this force match will eliminate my opponent's final territory. So UXWU is going to have a compromise later. But that's it for the turn. Roll 3. A pair of force matches could beat me if you got matches of those 2 sets of 2 out there. 18 cards and 3 actions for UXWU. Intel. I may bounce 3 of the 4 cards from my war zone. It could mill 6 cards from my arsenal. Nope. Be 2 and 1, is not surprisingly. If I can get a force match here, I can get the win. Let's see. 1. Well, I'll play an intel card. Cause production strike. That's it for the turn. Four. $19 cards and 4 actions. There's a building match. Back for stuff that got bounced. 1 action to go for the turn. There's intel. They're going to bounce the 2 cards from my wars. Now, you see why I didn't put one of those forces out there? Once again, if I get a force match, I can get the win. 5. Will this do it? It will. Long last, the DX8 for the win. Alright. Alright, good game, UXWU. Warsaken Blitz, Nashville Lou Live. So let's bring the slate up for a moment. We'll get things ready for the prize round. You see the grand prize. Someone's about to win that Agent Nika Devon black camo card. Force card. Only 50 of those exist, or fewer probably now, if any have been earned to make a black camo first wave card. All right, so people who beat me today, it was a tale of 2 streaks here. I lost 6 in a row to start and then won my last 3. So it'll be Rising Dragons, Valky, Zeal, Tech, Carlos CGTV, and Jungle Banana. That's the 6. And lucky for me, I had 6 already in there ready to go where I could adjust it as need be. Let's see if this looks correct. We've had some issues with technical stuff today. So it goes. What's new, right? Yeah, all right, this looks correct at least. All right, so the way this works for the prize round, I go in order of the people that beat me on stream as far as who gets what in what order. So first spin will be Rising Dragons. See if they're, let me talk about what we have. We got the black camo that Agent Nika Devon, that's a grand prize. We got 5 other camos. Mount Pomey Orchards, the Satellite Recon, Political Speech, Selfless Hero, and V-Type X. So those are the 6 prizes in total for the 6 winners. The first winner was Rising Dragons. We'll give it a spin and find out what Rising Dragons comes away with from today's show. And again, back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1800 UTC. Here on Twitch with Nashville Lou Live. Congratulations. Rising Dragons with that Mount Pomey Orchards. So that'll be going to you from my Fulfillments wallet after the broadcast. We'll take that off the wheel. Move on to the next person to beat me, and that was Valky. Valky beat me in the second game of the broadcast. So again, now it's 1 out of 5 of that black camo. So let's see what Valky gets. Good luck. It's a camo Selfless Hero. So congratulations, Valky. That prize is yours. Now down to 4 prizes. Next up on the list, Zeal. Zeal beat me in the 3rd game of the broadcast. As usual, Zeal and I had a good game. We usually have some absolutely wild battles. Zeal got the victory, and we'll win one of these 4 prizes right now. right, congratulations, Zeal. You win the camo political speech. And a reminder, one more reminder to be sure, over the Warsaken shop, up to 50% off. Get some great deals on both the physical cards or the digital version of the cards over there in the Warsaken shop. So I'll go ahead and remove this prize. I've got that written down for Zeal. These will be going out after the broadcast. So now we're down to 3. Next up, it's Tech. Good luck, Tech. Congratulations, Tech. You win the Camo B-Type X. That means we're down to 2. Carlos CGTV and Jungle Banana. Carlos CGTV beat me in game number 5, so this spin will see what Carlos wins. The other prize will go to Jungle Banana. So we'll find out right now who's going to get the grand prize. Good luck. All right, so congratulations, Carlos CGTV. You win the Camo Satellite Recon. And congratulations now, Jungle Banana. You get the grand prize. You get that black camo Agent Nika Devon card. I have this here in my notes, and I do. All right. So congratulations, Jungle Banana. Grand prize winner of the broadcast today. So again, I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 1800 UTC. That's the start time for tomorrow. And I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch, to listen, to play. I know not everybody's in a spot where you can play, but if you can pull me up, have your linked Wax wallet, at least chat sometimes, end up with loot, the 15x loot. I don't know if it'll continue into tomorrow. Hope so. Either way, we'll be back with that coming up tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1800 UTC. Appreciate y'all taking the time to watch. I'm not sure what game Quadrell's playing. DayZ. I'm not sure what that is. That'd be a motion sick kind of game that I might be able to stick around for, but we can check it out, see what Quadrell is going on. We'll do a raid there in just a moment. First, we'll do the SIG out, though, for VOD. That's going to do it for this broadcast of Nashville Lou Live. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. Thanks for watching. See you next time.